Wednesday. We are halfway through the work week. Yes, we are halfway there. I say halfway through the work week. We talk sports for a living. It's really not work, if we're being honest. But we're blessed and very happy to have our gigs. So coming up on today's show, guest free. Didn't reach out to anybody to have on today. None of the above. I decided there was so much going on that we had to talk about. I didn't want to necessarily go get guests. Tomorrow we have a shorter show. Nolan Winter said some stuff with Jesse Temple that I kind of just shook my head at in disbelief. So we'll do that tomorrow, because we're up against the Brewers game tomorrow before the post-game show starts. Post-game will be on tomorrow. Potawatomi Sportsbook post-game show will be on at like 3:30 tomorrow, so we'll be on for like an hour and a half. So that's definitely going to be one of the topics tomorrow. I was talking about Nolan Winter's crazy thoughts on how he wants the Badgers to play next year. So we'll get into that. But on today's show, lots to get into. And we'll just start off here talking about these new anti-tanking draft lottery rules. Now, first off, as we've talked about on this show numerous times, this is like once in like 20-year draft class. That's what we have here, right? That's what this is. This is the Melo, D-Wade. I mean, Darko didn't work out, but Melo, D-Wade, Kirk Heinrich was in that draft. TJ Ford was in that draft. I mean, it was a stacked draft. And LeBron, of course. So it was a stacked draft. This here, I don't know if you necessarily have that, right? I don't know if DeMonsta is LeBron or anything crazy like that. But if you go just overall talent, especially there through the first half or so of the first round, there's a lot of really good basketball players that could have pretty decent sized careers in the NBA and play at a pretty decent level. And because of that, you legitimately have teams this year that were like, cool, I need one of those on my team that's young, inexpensive for the first contract, who I can pretty much guarantee is going to stay for 2 or 3 contracts because of the amount of money they can get from me versus anywhere else. So, yeah, I'm in if I'm the Utah Jazz. Yeah, I'm in if I'm the Sacramento Kings. Now, the Kings were really hurt, but yeah, I'm in if I'm that crappy team. What? The Pelicans? The Pelicans don't have a first-round pick, so they're like, to hell with this. We're going to ball out and play as hard as we can to screw over Milwaukee or Atlanta, whoever gets that pick swap. So now everybody's freaking out about this. And it was all kind of started because of what the Utah Jazz were doing and, of course, Danny Ainge. So they fined them, what, $500,000 or whatever it was. And I said then when they fined them, it's worth it. I'd do the same damn thing if I was Danny Ainge. Hell yes, I would. Because he's got a group over there that's coming, but they need a superstar player to go with them. They need a star player to go with them to kind of put them over the top. They don't really have that guy. And if they think Peterson or DeBonsta or whoever is that dude that can help them get to that point, and DeBonsta's at BYU, and you're the Jazz? Hell yes, I want DeBonsta. Yeah. I mean, it's like LeBron grew up in Akron. Of course Cleveland wants LeBron. So it's same thing. I'll pay $500,000 to take my crack at this bad boy. Sure. So I'm all on board with what was going on. The NBA, clearly not, because everybody in the big markets were just mad. Everybody was mad. All the guys on ESPN are mad. You want to know why? Because they don't want a superstar in Utah. I promise you, they do not want DeBonsta in Utah. Let DeBonsta end up in a bigger market. Let DeBonsta go to the Bulls in Chicago. They never talk about the Bulls. Let him get to Chicago so we have a reason to go to Chicago with our pregame show or go to Chicago with one of our first take shows or whatever else. Stephen A. would love being in Chicago in like May or June or whatever. He'd be all for it. Again, that's what this is all about. This isn't about anything else. This is about making sure the big markets get as good at players as possible to keep them as relevant as long as possible. Knicks have been bad for how long before they finally started to turn the corner? Now the Bulls have been bad for how long? Since Derrick Rose. And before Derrick Rose, it was Michael Jordan because the Eddie Curry, Tyson Chandler thing didn't work out. And that was a situation where they were at the top of the lottery and made a trade with the Clippers to essentially get the 2 best high school big men on the board at that time, and everybody thought they were going to be unstoppable with those two guys as they got bigger and got stronger and developed. And again, didn't work out. But they made their crack at it. So now we're going to try and figure out a way to not only just make it 14 teams, now we're going to expand it to 16 teams. And now we're going to screw with the odds so that if you're at the bottom with win-loss record, you essentially have an okay shot of winning this thing. Do you realize, based on that the Orlando Magic, who are balling, credit to Charlie, even though he jumped off before game one with me.
I did. I'm back on.
No, you're back on. Yeah, I figured you might be. I figured you might be. Orlando, who's balling. I mean, Orlando could make a run to the finals, and with this goofy scenario, could have the number 1 overall pick. What are we doing? Are we nuts? Like, you have got to be losing your ever-loving mind to think this is a good idea. The question I have is this. Is this just another way of keeping small markets down in the NBA? Is it just another way of keeping the small market down? Nicolay Law Talk and Text Line, 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. Streaming live on X, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. We're everywhere on this show. All you got to do, at WI Sports Radio. Facebook is the Fan Milwaukee Facebook page. Now, I saw a tweet last night, which is the reason why we're doing it with this topic as far as small market. Because I am not going to necessarily take all the credit in the world for this. I am going to give credit to Cameron Salerno as well, who is a national college basketball and football writer for CBS Sports. But before he got this job, he covered the Sacramento Kings. So I'm pretty sure Rami Makloff knows him and has interviewed him because Rami did afternoons in Sacramento for a while. Well, like a year. So I'm pretty sure he probably interviewed this dude as well. So I started, when Rami went to go do the Kings, I really got invested because my kid is a Kings fan too, don't ask. So I started to get even more invested, watching more Kings game with my kid, following the beat writers, texting with Rami while the games were going on. I started to become more invested. So I started following a lot of these guys. So when Salerno got this job with CBS Sports, I was already following him. So I just kept following him. Like, yeah, maybe we can get him on someday to talk about some of the different stuff. So he puts this out last night. Sign free agents who don't want to come to insert small market city. Trade for a player who won't sign an extension to play for insert small market city. Draft someone outside the top 3 who isn't as talented. This lottery reform will hurt small market teams. Big mistake. Now, this is the thing for me. If you're the Milwaukee Bucks, this whole, if you're one of the worst records for like 3 straight years or whatever the case may be, then you're relegated essentially, and you don't get to have a top pick if you're in it 3 straight years. This whole relegation concept that they have. This is why I don't like it. Because if you are Milwaukee, and you all know this, nobody is signing here that's a superstar. It's not happening. They had a trade for Damian Lillard. That's how they got him. They had a trade for Drew Holiday. He ain't even a damn superstar, but they had a trade to go get him. No superstar signed as a free agent in the Giannis era to come play with this dude. Nobody. Not a one. So you have an MVP level player, the greatest Buck of all time in some people's minds. Debate Jabbar with others, whatever. But regardless, he's got to have a statue. He's going to have all this stuff. Couldn't get one guy to sign here of superstar caliber level. Not one dude. Now, you're telling me that if and when Giannis is done, whether that's he retires and he's done from that perspective, whether that is he gets traded, whatever. But he's gone. And now the struggles begin. Do you think that the NBA is going to care in the least if the Bucks aren't in the playoffs for 8 straight years? Do you think they're going to care? Do you think that the NBA is going to make rules to help small market teams be better? No, they're not. The only way to dig yourself out of a hole when you're in a small market is through the draft. And you can even look at Bucks history from that standpoint. They win the lottery, they get Glenn Big Dog Robinson. Now, revisionist history, you can go back and have the conversation about Jason Kidd and Grant Hill. Glenn Big Dog Robinson was the guy that year. Like that, there was no debate at one. There wasn't. I understand how great Kidd ended up being and how good he was at California and Grant Hill at Duke. I understand all of that. But there was no debate that I remember, at least, about Big Dog going one. Now, Big Dog and his agent made all Bucks fans mad because he's like, I'm going to be the first $100 million contract. And then people held that against him forever. But that was their guy. Big Dog gets on the floor from Purdue. As soon as he hit a couple mid-range jumpers, I was like, oh, man, here we go. I got somebody finally to root for. Let's go. Then the Bucks get Stephon Marbury in the draft. And big draft party for the Bucks going on. I believe it was at the Bradley Center, if I remember correctly. And they trade Marbury for Ray Allen. And Andrew Lang, I think, was involved in that deal. They make that deal. Man, people were throwing stuff at Dunleavy. They were throwing stuff. They were so mad they just lost Marbury for freaking Ray Allen. People were throwing stuff. They were so pissed off. Okay? But you get Ray. Either way, you get Ray. Then you've got two legitimate guys that could be superstars, all-stars, whatever. Then you have to figure out how are you going to get somebody to play with these guys? And you start talking about Terrell Brandon and Tyrone Hill. They were a part of that deal. Then that wasn't working. So then they moved on from that and ended up with Sam Cassell, who had already won 2 championship rings with the Houston Rockets. And they put these 3 guys together. And you spend the most money on a coach in professional sports in George Karl. You spend a bunch of money to get Ernie Grunfeld out in New York to come in and be your GM. And you've got all the pieces in place. And you got one good year in that entire run. One. That's all. And all the pieces were in place. And you only got 1 year. Then the next time you have a chance at one, you get Andrew Bogut. Now, that debate that year was Andrew Bogut versus Marvin Williams. Marvin Williams was the 6th man in North Carolina. Wasn't even a starter. But it's the NBA, so we project that he's going to be really good. He's got all the skills. As the story goes, that cat didn't even finish the workout the Bucks put him through and had to quit. Dog tired, couldn't finish. So now it's Marvin Williams versus Andrew Bogut. Well, clearly after that, it was not going to be Marvin Williams. So they draft Andrew Bogut. Bogut's the guy. Bogut's starting to get better. Bogut's looking like he's going to have that breakout season. Bogut goes up for a dunk. Stoudemire with the shove. Down goes Bogut in a heap with a ruined elbow. Never to be the same player again. And there went that. Fast forward just a little bit. The Bucks suck. And this Bucks front office back then decided, to hell with this. This draft has Greg Oden, Kevin Durant, Al Horford. We're in. We need one of them. Let's go get Andrew Bogut some help. So, if you had a hangnail, you ain't playing. You had a bad dream? Mentally can't handle it? Sit down. You can't play. Right? Whatever it was, we're not playing. Let's go. As I've said before, to that point in NBA history, it was the only time in NBA history, the only time, that the 3 worst teams in the NBA that year, none of them made it into the top 3. First time in NBA history. If there was no lottery, Charlie, they would have picked 3rd and taken Al Horford. because Odin went 1, Durant 2, and Horford 3. That would have been the order regardless of what teams were picking. There was no debate. Right. Odin was dominant. That was the 3. So then you would have had Bogut and Al Horford and Michael Redd. And all of a sudden, it doesn't look as bad as it did anymore. But instead, Gian Leon, whatever his name was, that's what you ended up with instead at 6.
Yeah.
And why did you take him? Because you're swinging for the fences, hoping that this dude puts it all together. And of course, he never did. Went back overseas and had a fine career, played well, but just was not an NBA caliber player. That's how it's went. And now you're going to sell me on this new stupid anti-tanking draft lottery rules. Now you're going to take a horrible team, potentially for God knows how long, and then you're going to penalize them for not being able to get out of their own way at some point when there's no hope of getting free agents to go there and play. I mean, literally, the only chance they would have of getting themselves out of this is if you have a star player like Con Knipple, right? That says, hey, man, I'm going to go home and play. Who's coming with me? And he grabs a couple other guys, and they come rolling into Milwaukee together, like Wade, LeBron, and Bosh, and they want to play together at home. And with the way they're producing great talent out of Wisconsin, maybe you get 3 Wisconsin kids that come back that are all really good players to come back and play for the Bucks. Maybe that's how you get yourself out of it. But this here, oh, my gosh. Like this is the absolute worst-case scenario for a small market like the Bucks. Absolutely horrible. If I was Wes Edens, I'd be throwing an absolute fit right now, Charlie.
Well, and I think the teams that they're really like, I don't know if the NBA is doing this on purpose, because it feels like the teams that they're trying to punish are more the larger market teams. The teams like Philadelphia, who spent 5 years tanking, trying to get a bunch of first, second, third overall picks to work together. And now they spent 10 years.
Oklahoma City made all these trades, let all these dudes go. And guess what? It worked. Do you want to know the difference? The best GM in basketballs and Presti is running the Thunder. The guy that was in charge of the process in Philly, they bailed on because it was taking too long and got rid of him. So who knows if that would have worked out or not? They panicked. But it got him Joel Embiid along the way, and Embiid is still there. So you criticize all you want. You got your superstar player.
You did. But again, it still took a long time to get to that point. I think they look at that. They look at LA, where those two teams were able to pretty instantly flip it around, it feels like, and they can figure it out how to survive in this era where if you change the rules of the draft lottery, that doesn't really affect them. I think when you go back to Oklahoma City and talk about how they were able to rebuild so fast because they collected so many draft picks, were able to turn those draft picks into other players, Paul George and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. They're able to use those pieces. But at the same time, when you add this new kind of format where it devalues some of these picks, that hurts these teams that are trying to go and the Sam Presti route, and where like Utah has been doing over the past couple of years, just collecting picks, trying to build up so they can make these blockbuster trades. But they're not going to be able to because teams are going to say, hey, I don't know, that pick just may not be worth as much as it used to be worth. So now you're going to have to throw on an extra 2 picks. You're going to have to throw on a proven young player that you weren't going to add before. So it's another reason that it's hurting these small market teams.
And how does it hurt a team that potentially could move their superstar player? You have Giannis going in the last year of his deal, and now here comes this nonsense. So now what does that mean for whatever they're going to get back? Does it help them? Does it hurt them? You have to reevaluate now, how much do the ones really mean at the end of the day with this new little system that they put in? Maybe now the Bucks are going to go, screw the picks. Just give us some young players, and I'm not going to worry about the picks because there's no guarantee any of that's going to work out. At least before, I might have had a fighting chance. If Giannis retires and you all are horrible, maybe we have a fighting chance. Now, who knows how this whole thing plays out? I think it changes potentially how valuable the ones could be at this point.
I think you want a team that is more like the Heat now. I think that's their goal, is that you want to trade Giannis to a team like the Heat because that's an older team that potentially could be losing Tyler Hero. Those rumors were coming out this.
He'd have to come back in a trade if it's Giannis.
Right. And I think that if you were to attack those teams, even like the Indiana Pacers, you can't go after the normal small market teams that are always tanking. They're always out there that just seem like they're not doing well because those picks won't be worth as much. You're going to go to those middling teams. I think that's why Milwaukee's kind of in an okay spot right now, because they haven't chosen to tank at all. They've chosen to still try to compete even through all of this drama that's going on with Giannis and Doc Rivers and what's happening. I think it's because in the long run, they could kind of foresee this or knew these conversations were happening and say, you know what, it may be better to just be where we're at and try to keep Giannis as long as possible, be in the middle so we have a better chance at getting higher draft picks.
Let's go to Ram, north side of Milwaukee. You're next on the Nicolay Law Talk and Text Line, Wisconsin Sports Daily with me, Steve Sparky Pfeiffer. What's up, Ram?
I like that the way that you did a historical chronology of the Bucks.
Lots of pain.
Past 20 years.
Yeah, lots of pain.
But you forgot one GM. The best the Bucks ever had was Wayne Embry.
Oh, yeah.
Now, we're going to say, so I always, with me, I go with history and coaching tree. Wayne Embry played for Red Auerbach. So that whole Celtic system is still existing because Danny Ainge is still here.
Right.
And he has done it. And he's been a team president. So until the Bucks can get a solid GM that's respected, don't expect nothing. Because John Horst is just taking toilet paper and throwing it up against the wall, see what sticks. His best draft pick was Dante. Dante was injured. He let him go.
Mm-hmm.
That was dumb. So Dante is better than Rollins and KP3. And he was a champion at the college level. And until he got hurt, he's been balling.
He was a champion as a Buck, too. He just was hurt watching them win a championship.
Yeah, I'm just saying, he's playing. So when it comes to picking players to go around Giannis, only person I trust in that front office now is Doc. He's been around long enough. He knows. And then I think you have to have someone that can pick up the phone and talk to other GMs and make something happen. I just don't see Horst that.
All right. Thanks for the call. Appreciate it, Ram. I don't agree. You made the Holiday trade. You made the Lillard trade. Nobody saw the Lillard trade coming. Horst had that dude on lockdown in Portland to not tell anybody. You stretched and waived Lillard, and then you stole Miles Turner. Nobody saw that coming, including the Pacers. Like, he's done a lot of stuff maneuvering-wise, one way or the other, to get different stuff done. He got P.J. Tucker here. That was a big piece of what they were able to do at the end of the day. They did a lot of stuff, and he deserves credit, as does, Fagan and Edens and the rest of them that were kind of putting this whole thing together. The draft picks, as I've said before, and I'll say again, I think kind of some of that's kind of unfair. I mean, he really hasn't had lottery picks. His best pick was DiVincenzo, and that's because it was the best pick he's had in the middle of that first round. And he bailed on DiVincenzo. I would have bailed on DiVincenzo too. So I'd be a hypocrite if I told you that I was against that move. I was fine with that move. It didn't bother me. I wasn't worried about DiVincenzo coming back and butting him in behind. Even if DiVincenzo was on this team this year, they still stink. And DiVincenzo has problems staying healthy. He's hurt again, by the way, if you missed it in the playoffs. So, I mean, I don't know. I have problems going after Horst for the draft. I can defend Horst on the offseason trades and all that other stuff. You're now going to see what John Horst is made of here, because if and when Giannis leaves, if that happens, or when he retires, and if Horst is still there, then he's going to have to legitimately prove that he does know what he's doing and can draft talent and be right. The one thing he really hasn't done is draft those guys in the second round that go on to be something, right? The Bucks drafted Red in the second round. He did something. Bahamute, he did something. Ilyasova, he did something. Like, there's a lineage of second round picks before the John Horst crusade started that were good NBA players and played for a long time in the NBA in different roles. Haven't really seen that. And part of the reason you haven't seen that is because they keep going with this, we want to be younger and try and develop guys. But the best player on your team has no interest in the future. The best player on your team only wants to talk about now. He is only concerned about winning a championship now. He does not care about some 18-year-old being good in 3 years. He does not have time or the patience for it. So while you were trying to get young and quicker and faster and more mobile, your head guy was completely against it and wanted nothing to do with it. And that is why that whole thing blew up. If they simply would have stayed in sync and said, we're going to take the best college senior that's most ready to play and can help us right now, instead of gambling on AJ Johnson or somebody like that, it may have been different. Maybe whoever he takes, maybe he has more of an impact and helps him sooner.
And you've done that in the Giannis era before. Malcolm Brogdon was rookie of the year, and he was that type of player. You can go out and get those types of guys. You know where they're going to be. And maybe if you can convince those types of guys that they will have roles at the NBA level with some of these more competitive teams, maybe they'd want to be a part of the draft process, and you wouldn't have only 71 guys coming into this year's draft.
I wanted to talk about something that was said down in Miami about what the Heat's plans are going forward here in the next couple of years. There's been lots of talk about it being Giannis. Well, guess what? A new superstar has entered the picture, apparently, that Pat Riley has eyes for, and it's not Giannis. We'll discuss that straight ahead. Wisconsin Sports Daily, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky with you. May 1st is coming. It's Friday. We'll have new bumper music coming up on Friday. Oh, we have to add another song to the list. You haven't sent me the list yet.
No, I'll do it right
I was
now,
listening this morning to Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. And they had Doug Gottlieb on. And they asked Doug Gottlieb, they're like, hey, man, we want to have music for you when you come on every Wednesday at 8 o'clock. It's like, what's going to be your walk-up song or whatever it was? And I was like, oh, man, I don't no idea, man. I got to think about it, whatever. And he's like, Josh, like, that's fine. Just text me, between now and next Monday. Let me know. And Josh Doug is like, well, like, what's your song or whatever? And, talking like walk-up song for like baseball or whatever else. And Trevor's was like the Put Me in Coach song or whatever. It's called Center Field or whatever.
Center Field, John Fogerty.
Yeah, right. And Doug's like, yeah, that's kind of stupid. You're already playing. Like, why would that be your walk-up song? So then he goes to Josh and he goes, so what's your walk-up song? And Josh is like, Power of Love. That's my walk-up song. That's what I want to do. Oh, you do. Google it. You'll know it. So the Power of Love. I put the Power of Love into our rotation. We could use that
Celine
one.
Dion.
The Power of Love. Yeah, put that. No.
There's Huey Lewis in the
that
news.
One. That's the one he wants. Yeah. Huey Lewis in the News, Power of Love. So it's a good song. It's upbeat. It's fun. I did not see that coming from Josh. I'll be honest. I did not see the Power of Love.
What would you expect from Josh?
I don't know. But yeah, Huey Lewis in the News. I didn't see that one coming. Because normally, that's a little bit older, maybe. But you even said you like classic older music. So potentially.
I don't think I know this one.
You don't? Pot it up. Just pot it up. Let's just hear it a little bit here. Pot it up and let's see.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you know that song. Yeah, pot it down now. Yeah, that's good. So we'll put that in the rotation for Josh. And that way, I know Josh listens in the afternoon. So yeah, listen, and then you can have his song in the rotation. You can put Center Field in there too for Trevor.
All right.
I don't want to. You're right. We'll put that in there as well. Hey, Wendy's invented the iconic spicy chicken sandwich. Wendy's new spicy chicken sandwich is crispier and more flavor packed than ever. And the breading, even crispier. Flavor inside, loud outside. 9 peppers and spices give it that bold, layered heat. Wendy's spicy chicken. Order in the Wendy's app today. Was there last night? Kid wanted some chicken nuggets after the game. Used my app. Got a free 10-piece nugget.
Score.
Telling you. And
what
then he's in the youth sports jersey or whatever else. So you get the free Frosty with it.
Score.
Like, again, come on, people. Why not do it? No, he does not like any sauces on anything.
Sauce at all?
Doesn't have ketchup, doesn't have mustard, no mayo, no ranch, no nothing.
That's crazy.
Everything is plain Jane.
That's crazy.
It doesn't want food touching each other on the plate when he eats it.
I've heard people like that, but like sauce is like, that's the best part of eating.
I tried telling him that. It's pointless. It's just absolutely pointless. We'll not do it. I want to talk about this conversation that happened down in Miami because I think it definitely relates to the Milwaukee Bucks, even though they're not talking about Giannis per se. So they're having a conversation on the radio about Pat Riley and the plans of what the Heat are going to do going forward. Because Pat Riley came out the other day, pretty much said, I'm not retiring. I'm trying to win every year. I'm not tanking, blah, 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 blah. Okay, fine. So here's Brendan Tobin on WQAM down in Miami talking about how this may play out for the Heat.
Pat Riley, who kept bringing up this cap space, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then he has this soliloquy on Nikola Jokic, who you guys know I love Jokic, dude. Okay, but I've told you the repercussions I've dealt with from this. He stunk this year. He was bad.
Mm-hmm.
Leroy, in any other year where Pat Riley signs a player to an extension, he stinks. He's injured, and wasn't very happy at the end of the year with his role either. He kind of made that known. But Pat Riley still praises him in the press conference. Why the hell would he do that, you may ask? And then, as I was rolling in today, bing, it dawned on me. This mother bleeper is loading up to go get us the Joker. He's not going after Giannis. He's not going after Kawhi. He's not going after John Morant, because who's a free agent in the summer of 2027? Nikola Jokic, dude. And who does Nikola Jokic share an agent with? You may ask. Well, I'm glad you did ask, Leroy, because here's Jovic, dude.
Jovic. Leroy Horde, the former Vikings running back. That is a hell of a theory, a hell of an idea, and makes a lot of sense because Pat Riley is a big game fisher. He ain't going looking for minnows. He wants the whale, right? He wants the big dog to come down there and market around and build around and win championships around. And with all due respect to Denver, it ain't Miami. So while Denver is a major city for sure, and there's cool things to do in Denver and a great place to live from all I've heard, I've never been there. That's wonderful. But Miami might be more along the lines of what we're talking about here. The Joker's brother, don't you think his brother was like hanging out in South Beach,
I don't
rolling
think
along?
they've worn sleeves for the past 10 years that Jokic has been in the NBA.
No. So again, it makes sense. Here's my question for you. If you were making a trade for, superstar player this summer in hopes of signing this player to an extension or keeping this player long term, and you're a GM or a president of operations, whoever you may be, who'd you rather have for, I don't know, a new 5-year deal, let's say? Joker or Giannis? You're Pat Riley in the Heat. Who would you rather go after? Joker or the Giannis? The Giannis. Nicolay Law Talk and text line 414-677-1250. 414-677-1250. On the socials, streaming live at WI Sports Radio, X, Instagram Live, YouTube, and of course on the fan Facebook page as well. Also can stream us, the audio portion of it, at wisportsradio.com. Who would you rather have? Both these guys going to be free agents in the summer of 27. Potentially, unless Giannis, signs his extension here coming up. Who would you rather have? Now, I know I'm talking to Bucks fans. I get it. But you also know how good the Joker is. I'm kind of curious about which way you would go if you were in that position. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky with you. I think I want to keep this song, this Yakety Yak song, even though we're changing music on Friday.
I just sent you the list, so you can add whatever you want else.
No. I don't want to keep it in the bumper, but I want to have it like on a song that we can play.
Okay.
When we're talking about like a team being god awful, or the Brewers have like 3 errors in a game, and we go to talk about the Brewers, something that we can play intentionally. Coming out of break.
I can make a little bump thing out of it.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking, right?
Okay. Yeah,
could be a lot of years of that with the Bucks. So I'm just trying to get ready for it. If you were making a trade for a star player this summer, you're a GM, you're a president of operations. Giannis and Joker both potentially could be free agents in the summer of 27. Who would you rather have? And this all comes from our guy Brendan Tobin down at WQAM in Miami. Bing!
It dawned on me. This mother bleeper is loading up to go get us the Joker. He's not going after Giannis. He's not going after Kawhi. He's not going after John Morant. Because who's a free agent in the summer of 2027? Nikola Jokic, dude. And who does Nikola Jokic share an agent with? You may ask. Well, I'm glad you did ask, Leroy. Because here's Jovic, dude.
Okay, so that is from WQAM in Miami. Talking about the fact that this could be lining up for Pat Riley to be trying to line up to go get the Joker out of Denver. I'll tell you something else. I fully expect now there to be a large campaign going from ESPN and Sharania to get the Joker out of Denver here in short order once they're bounced. Like, I fully expect that to be a thing. Now, Minnesota is hurt, so odds are Minnesota will survive. Will get bounced out here. Denver will come back and win that series. If they don't, there's really going to be a pressing to get the Joker out of Denver into somewhere else. Then you could really start to see things heat up, excuse the pun, to get him out of there. So then you could have Giannis and the Joker, both with rampant speculation happening this summer. As a Bucks fan, I welcome it. By all means, please throw this dude into the mix, and you can talk about that dude as much as you talk about Giannis, which means I would only have to see half as much Giannis crap because y'all been doing this for the last 2 years because all attention would be on the Joker at this point. I'm all in on this. Now, the question is, who would you rather have? Nicolay Law Talk, text line 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. What say you?
I think I'd rather have Jokic. I don't like the way Giannis has kind of the relationship between him and the Bucks has deteriorated, his health over the past couple of seasons. And like Jokic all time wise is probably at the same level as Giannis, if not all time now, moving past him a little bit. And I think that's something that when you talk about longevity and how he's able to stay on the court, even though this season he had his own injury problems too, he still came back and is playing in the playoffs right now. And I think that's a huge key for a lot of teams that are looking to compete. You need guys that are ready to play in the playoffs. And that's been the detriment of the Bucks over the past couple of seasons. As much as I love Giannis as a player, as a representative of the city of Milwaukee, if you can go out there and get Jokic instead for a similar package, I think that's the better deal right now.
All right, let's go to the Nicolay Law Talk and text line. Pokes and muck down here. It's not even close. It is the Joker all day long. Giannis's body is breaking down, and the fact that he has not developed a great back-to-the-basket game and still can't shoot, he will be done in 3 years or so because of injury. Not to mention, the Joker is probably the best all-around player in the NBA. That's from Pokes in Mucktown. I am not a gigantic Joker fan. We've talked about this before. He's damn good. He's really good. No question. His numbers are stupid good, right? He could be a walking triple-double if he wants on a day-to-day basis. And if you're talking about bringing in a player to carry a franchise going forward, I hate to say it, it's a Joker, man. I don't know how it's not. The problem is for Milwaukee is this is not good for you at all. Because that means if the Joker says, hey, I'm not signing the extension, I'm leaving. And Giannis does the same thing. You know where everybody's going to go fishing first. So then you're going to be stuck over here on the side waiting for Denver to make a move. They're going to get the biggest offer package. It's not going to be close. So they're going to get the gigantic haul. Then whatever is left, then you're then going to have second. You're going to be second up. And now you're going to see, okay, of what's left, what kind of package can we get? And whatever that standard is for the Joker, you're probably going to get half, maybe 3/4 of that, probably half of whatever they get for the Joker. It's really not a good thing for the Bucks, if we're being honest. Number one, he comes to the East in Miami, the Joker does. That's not good long-term for this franchise. And number two, it really takes away from you being the king of the offseason with everybody coming to you and you hold the best chip available to now being second best and not being the star of the offseason. It does not work out to the Bucks' advantage. Again, this is providing both these dudes don't want to be there. For all we know, Giannis signs in Milwaukee, Joker signs in Denver, and this isn't even a thing. But you know the speculation will run rampant all summer long.
Right. I think from the Bucks perspective, yes, you can be a little worried about that, but for the most part, the teams that were interested in Giannis before, I think are still going to be the same teams. I don't think that the teams like the Spurs and the Celtics, if they don't get to the championship this season and they feel like they want to make a bigger move in order to take just that last step over a hurdle, I think they're still going to be looking at a Giannis over a Jokic, because he probably will end up being a cheaper deal than Jokic will be. And I think he just fits what they want to do a little bit better too. I think bringing in a Jokic really dismantles both of those organizations just from what they've built up around their star players. With a Giannis, if you can get a cheaper deal on that and then also be looking at, I can mold his defense back to what it used to be. I can get him more on these pick and roll type situations. I think those are teams that would just be looking at Giannis because he fits what their mold is at the moment, and you wouldn't lose those. Yes, the Heat may be different, but the Heat are in on everybody every offseason. It doesn't matter
Big fish
who
on
it is. They make different jersey edits of those guys every year. It's hilarious. So they're always going to be talking like this. I think the market that Giannis has will still be the market that Giannis will have moving forward.
I got another one here from our guy Justin in North Carolina from the 919. Joker, hands down. The argument used to be Giannis plays both ends of the floor. Not so much anymore. And offensively, he's better and rebounds better, says Justin in North Carolina. Justin taking a shot at Giannis, saying he ain't playing on both sides of the floor anymore. Again, with all due respect to that dude, man, most years you could look at him and be like, dude, he's going all out all the time. I don't know if you could say that every game this year for the first time ever as a Bucks fan watching the game. I just don't know if you could say it anymore.
It did feel like there were moments where you just had to question that. But was that because of the energy from other guys on the floor? Maybe he has a different field next year if it's a new team.
Step up to the plate, take a shot at winning major prizes in the $300,000 Big League Series at Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee. April through June, you can win a share of $300,000 in prizes. On monthly promo entries, contour the grand finale drunks on June 26th. Get triple the entries during Brewer home games and score one of 3 all-new Toyota vehicles. More info online. Must be 21 and rewards member to play. Only at Potawatomi. Coming up next, it's 3 o'clock. Let's talk about the Crew. They made some transactions. Another player heads to the IL. We'll tell you who. Coming up next.
Some shows talk about one team. Other shows barely talk sports. This show will talk Packers, Brewers, and Bucks. Every day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
We are live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Happy Wednesday to you. Hope all is well in your world. Thanks for listening, whether you're in Wausau listening to the game or the Fan in Milwaukee, WNFL in Green Bay and Appleton, or the game in Duluth Superior. Do appreciate y'all. If you don't have the Nicolay Law Talk and text line already saved in your phone, now would be the time to do it. That way you don't have to sit there and wait for me to give the numbers all the time. You can just text us right away or pick up the phone and call us right away. That's always the way I prefer. 414-677-1250. 414-677-1250. Throw that in your phone, save it, and you are ready to rock and roll at that point. It is 3 o'clock, which means we'll have Charlie Sounds of the Day coming up at 3:40. We got to talk about this fiasco that the NCAA is trying to do to the tournament as well this hour. But before we get to all of that, Brewers have making some moves.
It's time to talk about the crew. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
All right, let's go to the transaction board for the Milwaukee Brewers. This has happened in the last few minutes. We tweeted it out a little bit ago at WI Sports Radio, or posted it on X, or whatever you want to say. The Milwaukee Brewers, Luis Matos, outfielder, clears waivers. He is headed to AAA Nashville, where he belongs.
Shocker.
It's where he belongs, right? AAA is where he belongs. Figure it out. Come back. Jackson Churio, Andrew Vaughn sent to AAA Nashville on a rehab assignment. That's positive.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I had mentioned before the break that they have put somebody on the IL. It is Angel Serpa, placed on the 15-day IL with left forearm tightness, retroactive to April 26th. Selected from AAA Nashville as left-handed pitcher Brian Fitzpatrick, to which most of you, not named Tommy Wirtz, said, who? So, to tell you more about Brian Fitzpatrick, we have Charlie Usen with all the information.
All right, so Brian Fitzpatrick is a 6'7" left-handed pitcher, 25 years old. He was drafted by the Brewers in 2022 in the 10th round. So far this season, he's got a 1-1 record as reliever in 10 appearances, a 0 ERA through 10 innings pitched with 11 strikeouts and a .87 whip. Last season, he went through 3 levels for the Brewers. He started with the Timber Rattlers and got all the way up to Nashville all last season, and again has been with Nashville to start the season this year.
So he has no major league innings. This is his major league debut coming up potentially tonight.
Yes, sir, and probably tonight, knowing the Brewers and Pat Murphy. They seem to like to get these guys in there when they call them up right away.
Yeah, I'd prefer to do that as well. Yeah, especially if his entire family is in town to watch.
That's what it seems like.
Which I'm being told his entire family is in town to watch. So they're all here at American Family Field. So if you are sitting by the Fitzpatrick family, make them feel nice and welcome and all of that.
They all might be tall, so you might be able to point them out in the crowd.
You realize Trevor Thomas is still taller than that dude?
That's just crazy. I can't picture that until like I actually truly meet him. I haven't met him.
I have. Yet, yeah, I've met him. I met him at Josh's charity bowling event that he does, bowling with the chums.
Everybody feels a little tall to you.
Yeah, but he was sitting down, and I still was short. He was sitting down, and I still was short talking to him.
That's a crazy experience.
I was very happy he didn't stand up. I was like, you could stay right there, buddy. We're good. I got out of there before he stood up. But so, yeah, this move here makes sense. A couple of reasons. One, obviously, forearm tightness, not something you want to mess with if you're a pitcher. That's number one. Number two, been struggling a little bit. So you give him a little bit of a break and let him reset a little bit. And then while you're working to get him back, you can tweak or work on things to get him fixed. This is baseball. This is how it works. For instance, also going on the IL today on another team, Boston Red Sox, Garrett Crochet goes on the IL. Why? Because he is sucked. So he goes on the IL to give him a reset. And I think they're going to try and fix him as well, potentially, in that to get him back to where he was. So both those guys, I'm not saying don't have injuries. I'm sure they do. but it also comes at a time to where they can reset him a little bit, give him a mental break from the grind, and potentially Chris Hook can work with something with him a little bit if he sees something to tweak a little bit as he's, in a couple days, few days, whatever, gets up and starts throwing again. They can work on some stuff to get him strained out.
While at the same time, pulling up a guy who's pitched really well over the past couple of seasons and giving him a chance to go here. And maybe you could find something like you did with Brian Hudson a couple of years ago, another really tall left-handed guy that you can come in and just say, hey, let's figure it out here together.
Yes, correct. That's exactly correct. So now we'll see how this all plays out moving forward. The Churio and Vaughn news is very, very important to all of this because upon them returning, that is going to change drastically how this lineup looks. And I was thinking about Tommy's guy, Jake Bowers. He ain't playing. Like, when they come back, unless Garrett Mitchell starts to stink, and we'll get to that in a second, but you're going to have Churio, Mitchell, and Frelick in the outfield. You know they're not sitting Frelick and putting him on the bench. So those three are playing.
Best home run hitter right now.
Those three are playing every day. Then on the infield, you would assume Terang is playing every day at second base. We still don't know about shortstop. We think it'll be Cooper Pratt at some point, and then potentially Joey Ortiz at third base, unless they make a move. And then first base, could they go platoon with Vaughn and Bowers? I guess they could potentially go platoon. I wouldn't go platoon unless Vaughn gave me a reason to go platoon. Like if he's struggling at some point, you're like, okay, maybe it's better to go back this other way. Then I would potentially listen to it. I can't give Jake Bowers the first base job because of Andrew Vaughn's injury. Like Andrew Vaughn showed in the second half of last year, he's a stud. Like he looks like a potential stud here. And I'm not letting him now sit on the bench and watch because Bowers, what's Bowers saying? 240, 250, something like that? Yeah. I mean, no, I'm not. We're not doing that. So I don't know how Jake Bowers gets in the lineup because he eventually, when we start this, he can be the DH or Vaughn can be the DH or Churio can be the DH, all that. I just don't see how he plays. I mean, unless they teach him how to play third base, then maybe he plays. Maybe he gets in the line that way.
261 right now. Put a little respect on his name as though Tommy's coming in here for right now.
I don't know what he's in here for. I have no idea. He's on a billboard now, so now he just busts into all the shows on the stage.
Tommy.
Big time Tommy, I guess. What do you want?
I have a question for you.
Sure.
I just wanted to know.
Yesterday you sidetracked this show. So
no. We're talking Brewers.
Now.
We're talking Brewers. We're talking Brewers.
Okay.
What has given you the thought that Jake Bowers will not be in this lineup until Christian Yelich comes back close to as daily as possible?
Well, again, when Christian Yelich comes back, that's when
the conversation comes in.
So,
yes,
again, as I said, to me, you can disagree. To me, Vaughn plays every day unless he gives me a reason not to play every day.
Absolutely.
And he stinks, right? If he stinks against lefty or righty, and then it's like, okay, well, now we're going to let Bowers get in here on a platoon basis and we'll split.
Well, then platoon basis is crazy right now because I still think that there's a DH and a left fielder that they're going to have to try to fill as well during that point.
Churio, Mitchell, and Frelick.
Bowers is going to be platooning into the outfield with Churio, Mitchell, Frelick because the two corresponding moves are going to be Greg Jones and Blake Perkins.
Well, that's whatever that is fine. Or it could be Cooper Pratt. The other part about this is number one, I don't want anybody platooning with Jackson Churio. Let's start there. There's no platooning. Correct. He plays every day. So forget that idea.
Sure. Garrett Mitchell.
Mitchell plays every day too. Now, again, we're going to get to something on Garrett Mitchell right here that Jack Stern wrote. So if it goes the way Jack Stern says it might go with Garrett Mitchell, then yes, then maybe Garrett Mitchell gets rotated out. Frelick, I agree, has not played well.
Yep.
But I don't think Pat Murphy's rotating Frelick in and out. That's his boy.
I
don't think that's happening either.
Sold that Jackson Churio is coming back and playing left field?
Yes. Yes, I am.
Played a lot of center field in spring in the WBC.
Good. But remember, that was the WBC. And remember, Pat Murphy wasn't sold on Garrett Mitchell being the guy anyhow.
Correct.
Coming into this thing. Well, Garrett Mitchell has proven to this point.
Also, the DH
that he's pretty good.
Will be Gary Sanchez and Jake Bowers always? Until Christian Yelich comes back?
Christian Yelich, yeah, I would think so. Or Vaughn. Maybe Bowers plays first base to keep him sharp once or twice a week.
Gary's not playing first base anymore with Vaughn coming back, right?
Hell no.
No, yeah, he's not already.
No, so it's Sanchez, Bowers, or Vaughn at DH. And then Bowers or Vaughn at first.
How many other sports radio hosts are advocating to take the team's home run leader out of the lineup on a consistent basis.
Home run leader from a crappy lineup. Who cares?
He's played very well to this
care.
point. He's hitting 260 right now.
Yeah, he was hitting 212 like a week ago. So yes,
I mean, he's the hottest hitter on the team right now.
Correct.
He's got a 5-6 game hitting streak going on.
That's
right
why
now.
I said. So we weren't talking like this. Now he got hot for 5 days. So now we can say he's hitting 260. And that's
he got
fine.
hot for 5 games. He's been one of the best players on the team to start the year.
Facts are facts. I'm just not sitting Andrew Vaughn for him. I'm not sitting Churio for him. I'll listen on rotating him with Frelick, but I don't think the manager will. And as I stated before, and I'll state again, and I don't know why they won't do it. And again, well, I mean, I guess I do know why they won't do it, but they need to figure out third base. And if you're saying, well, Bowers can't play third, okay.
No, he can't. He's a lefty. He wouldn't play
correct.
there.
That was the argument against me when I brought this up before. So fine. So then Bowers goes to first. Vaughn tried third base briefly for the White Sox.
No. You know what the answer should be? This is what the answer should be. First of all, over 100 career games at second base and third base is Tyler Black. Okay, so if you wanted to move him to second base, to move Terang over to shortstop, to have Hamilton over at third.
Hamilton?
Yeah.
You would designate Hamilton too.
What are you talking about?
Stop
David Hamilton is miles ahead of Joey Ortiz standing right now. It's not even close.
That's fine. I don't want him either. Listen, we're talking about how to get Jake Bowers into the lineup, right?
Yep.
That's what we're talking about.
Yep.
Okay. So you go ahead, lay out how Jake Bowers is playing.
Well, I just told you in a dream scenario, which will not happen, Tyler Black could play second or third, and then you could take out a Joey Ortiz or a Hamilton, take your pick on that, because you can move Terang over to shortstop, and then you could have Hamilton in. You could have an infield of Jake Bowers at first base, Andrew Vaughn's your DH, second base Tyler Black, shortstop is Bryce Terang, third base is David Hamilton.
What happens when Yelich comes back?
Well, then Yelich comes back. I'm just saying the configuration. I understand why Christian Yelich needs to be in the lineup over Jake Bowers. I'm a Jake Bowers stan. I'm not sabotage the Brewers just to have Jake Bowers in the lineup.
But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to figure out how do you keep him in the lineup going forward.
I just laid it out. He's playing first base. Vaughn's your DH. Boom. Done.
You're right. I understand that. But when Yelich comes back, then he's out again, right?
Right.
So realistically, I think if you look at this, Pratt's going to be the shortstop.
No.
Terang is not moving from second. I'm telling you, I will bet you whatever you like that Cooper Pratt is the starting shortstop by June 1st.
Oh, yeah. I'm down for that bet. I want that bet.
Okay, fine. We'll take it. I don't know what it is. We'll make a Wendy's bet or something.
Okay.
A Wendy's bet, right?
Do it.
Okay, so Cooper Pratt's at shortstop. Terang is at second base.
Yep.
First base is Vaughn. I think first and second is not negotiable. They won't move Terang.
I get that.
So now third base, Joey Ortiz is taking ground balls the other day or whatever the case may be.
That does not. You would rather Joey Ortiz than David Hamilton in the lineup?
No, I'm just telling you what was happening. You know that they were trying this at third base, correct?
Yeah, and David Hamilton's been playing third base in baseball games this year.
Correct. So if you're going to get Jake Bowers in the lineup every day and keep Vaughn in the lineup and get Yelich to be the designated hitter, the only option, well, there's two options. One, you're going to try Frelick again at third base, and Bowers is going out to right field. That's option A, because they tried that in spring, remember? So you can try that. Or option B is you try Vaughn back at third base, and Bowers stays at first base.
No, it's the option that you're not talking about is Churio plays center field. Churio plays center field.
So Garrett Mitchell's out.
Garrett Mitchell goes to right field. Sal Frelick's out.
That's a dream scenario. There's no way he's doing
I'm just saying, you're giving out dream scenarios of Joey Ortiz at third base. I like my dream scenario better.
No, I said Frelick or Vaughn is what I said.
Well, it's not going to be either of those two. Unfortunately, it's not. And I know that the writing is on the wall. Jake Bowers is playing well enough to be showing that he should be in the lineup against a righty as much as possible. Yes, he is.
I have a question.
Yes.
What could they get if they offered him around the league?
Shohei Ohtani. Otherwise, I'm not listening. No, I don't know. Like, what are you going to get? Are you going to get a team's top 15 prospect for Jake Bowers?
That's what I'm asking.
You know who me and Tim, we have a fan. Not a fan. Sorry. We have a crush kind of on Lou James Groover. He's in AAA right now for the Arizona Diamondbacks.
What's his name?
Lou James Groover. Go look up his numbers, Chuck, right now, because he is a stud.
He sounds like he should be performing at Fiserv Forum.
Lou James Groover.
Sounds like a complete...
Need to get him to Milwaukee just because Tim Allen with a shirt that says Groover on the back of it would just go ridiculously hard. Chuck, Put up a hell of a minor league career.
What position is
He's
he?
a third baseman.
He's got a career 302 batting average in the minor leagues, 24 home runs, 129 RBIs, 9 stolen bases this season, batting 340 with 1 home run and 22 RBIs.
He
Why
doesn't-
is he at AAA?
Well, he's their number 10 prospect right now. Arenado's blocking him in Arizona at this point.
Senior citizen.
He is the number 10 prospect for Arizona, I believe, right
24
now.
years old.
He's 24.
They're not doing that. They got
What do you
Fisher.
mean they got? Well, yeah, I'm just saying right now, a man can dream. If we're just throwing out dream scenarios, the guy's name rocks, and he's a good baseball player on
Yeah,
top of it,
sounds
and
like
he's kind of buried in their system right
Does he
now.
have stolen bases? Did you
No,
say?
he doesn't. He's not a
He's only
fast
got
guy.
1 this season.
Yeah, he's not a stolen
He's an
base kind of guy.
anti-Brewer then.
Well, that's why David Hamilton's going to play over Joey Ortiz. You see Joey Ortiz try to steal a base yesterday? That went really well. No,
He's not very good at baseball.
Joey Ortiz has 2 minor league options left. How has he not been sent down to AAA at some point? If they love, this is why, because they're going to keep Joey Ortiz up here until they know Cooper or Jet can play every day at shortstop. They are not bringing up someone just to send him back down, because that's what they are going to try to do.
They're not going to send him down.
Why not? Why not, Spark?
I'm
Why
telling
not?
No
What
way.
have you seen out of the last year and a half of Joey Ortiz that makes you think, you know what, we should wait it out with this guy? He is who we thought he was.
I'm just telling you, I would be shocked if they said Joey Ortiz
I don't want to
down.
hear anything about defense either, because that's just garbage, man. This guy, he had a great game yesterday. Shout out to him. His best game of the year, and he's still hitting 200 right now. I'm over it. And he comes up with the bases loaded every
All the
other
time.
day.
Yeah.
Just,
Oh, I know.
Garrett Mitchell's 5 for 5 with the bases loaded this year, and Joey Ortiz, after 30 at bats last year, had 5 hits with the bases loaded last year. No, don't defend this guy. He needs to play better. I'm rooting for Joey. I want Joey Ortiz to be the starting short. He's a Wilmer Stinger. He's a Wilmer Stinger.
Sure.
He is a
Not
Wilmer
sold on-
Stinger.
I'm not
He
sold
is
on
a
you.
Wilmer Stinger. You know what? Nick Mears, my guy also. Jacob Barnes, my guy also. Kyle Manzardo. I know my Wilmer Stingers off the top of my head. I'm rooting for Joey Ortiz. But we have seen 200 games of Joey Ortiz, and he is not good at baseball.
What do you want me to say? I'm not going to argue with you about it. I mean, you're very passionate about Joey Ortiz far more than I am. I just don't think, and again, I could be wrong. In fairness,
You can't give me
I didn't-
dream scenarios and have Joey Ortiz in the scenario.
I didn't think they would send Blake Perkins down, knowing that Murphy last year was like, well, if you send him down, I'm getting sent down. And I wasn't surprised when they went down there and called him right back up to be back up on this roster
but
again.
you
And
think
you're over here going, well, he's definitely getting sent down.
he
if
has
that's
to?
true. No
I
way.
mean, we know Greg Jones is one of them, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, who's the other guy?
well,
It's not Tyler Black, because it's his last minor league option.
So what?
So what? Then
So what?
okay, Spark.
That's
come
where
on.
I'm at with Tyler Black. So what?
You'd rather see what Joey Ortiz is than Tyler Black?
has no position on the field that he can play decently. There's nowhere. He's a designated hitter. That's
Joey
all he is.
Ortiz can't hit.
Tommy,
They need offense.
He's a designated hitter with no power.
Yes,
Oh my
exactly.
God.
That's what. Okay, so we're in the same
No.
boat of Joey Ortiz, who they are trying to replace with David Hamilton. All David Hamilton has to do is
No.
learn how to play defense at shortstop. It's not his bat that's holding him back right now.
That's all.
David Hamilton,
Just the defense at short. Should
he
be
plays
easy.
a great defense at third base. He is a fantastic defender over there. He might as well be Caleb Durbin at third base with way more speed. He's got the same amount of pop. Durbin's not going to hit 10 home runs this year. Neither is David Hamilton.
Agreed. Yeah, I agree with you on that. Why are we bringing up Caleb Durbin again? You brought up, didn't you bring up Caleb Durbin
No.
yesterday too? You miss him that much?
No, I'm telling you that this is the trade-off of David Hamilton is putting up Caleb Durbin-esque numbers. So anyone who was
No,
worried
I
about
don't-
losing Caleb Durbin, David Hamilton,
I don't need David Hamilton on my team. I don't need Joey Ortiz on
I-
my
I-
team. I don't need
I
Greg Jones
think
on my
David
team. I
Hamilton
don't
is
need
good.
I don't
Right.
need Blake Perkins on my team. I don't need any of these guys on my team.
you don't want Jake Bowers on your
I'm
team.
fine getting rid of all of
That's
them.
what you are.
Sure. If you can give me a top 15 prospect, he's gone. Yes.
Maybe you
Yes.
could.
Yes,
but
I
I
would
think
listen to
that's a
that.
stretch too, to
Well,
be fair.
probably. I don't think you could get it, but I'm just saying if it was offered up. I'm just trying to help you out, figure out how your guy can get out there and play every day.
Well, you have some guys ahead of them that I think it's kind of Boulder Dash what
I
you're
just
doing
think-
right here.
I just think Cooper- you don't pay Cooper Pratt all that money, and then he's not up here.
Why? He can take
He's
his
up here.
time now.
He's up here in May. No, there's no chance.
May?
Yeah, May. I said by June 1st. That
Well,
would be
then
May.
Joey Ortiz is getting optioned. If Cooper Pratt comes up, who else is taking? What do you mean? He has to. You're not going to send down anyone else. We just talked about Tyler Black is staying up here for the time being.
Or you make a trade and get rid of one of them if you can get value back.
If Jake Bowers gets traded, you don't want to see. I'm not coming to work the next day.
We will do the show from your house. In your driveway.
If I'm going to be asked to do a hit on every single show, if Jake Bowers got traded.
Tommy support group will be
We'll actually have a special hour-long remembrance of Jake Bowers' tenure in Milwaukee, where we just play highlights for an hour straight.
Hey, Patrick over there has something to say. What does Patrick have to say in the Dugout YouTube chat?
All right. Patrick says, thank you for the Brewers entertainment. This is awesome. Patrick in Hubertus.
Yeah. Ensconsin, too, loves laughing at my pain the back-to-back days. Now, I'm with you, Charlie. This is awesome.
Awesome.
I just think that you trying to – I think Jake Bowers has validated that he's a Major League Baseball player and should be fit into this Brewers lineup, current configuration, and when Chourio and Vaughn come back.
Is that not what I've been trying to do, Charlie? I gave him 2 scenarios. And he's not even listening.
That's not true. You just assume that Andrew Vaughn could move to third base before Jackson Chourio could move to center field.
No, I just don't think they're moving off of Garrett Mitchell that quick.
I put Mitchell in right field.
So then you're saying Murphy's guy Frelick, who's the next Dustin Pedroia, he's moving?
Oh my gosh. I think that
he's not the
I
next
think you
Pedroia,
sell Jake Bowers short on how much of a guy he is. He continues to sign 1-year deals to be with this team.
Do I sell him short or does Murphy sell him short?
No, I think that when we had Eric Tyson on earlier, he's like, Jake is one of the most important players on the team when we had him on during Hot Stove. He loves Jake Bowers. They are fitting him into the lineup as much as they can now. This stupid lefty split thing is really messing up his whole vibe right now, but that's when Andrew Vaughn can play. Sure.
All right, let's see here. The 920, the option is used already this year.
Tyler Black's?
Yes.
I don't believe so because he had 1 minor league option left before the start of the 2026 season. Go Fangraphs that one, Charlie, and then hover over the minor league option because he does have one, it says, but that was pre-2026. So did he get optioned in spring training? Like, is that what happens in the 40-man?
Well, yeah, if you start in AAA in Nashville, then yeah.
I think he was just assigned,
right?
I don't know if you were optioned.
I don't know. That's a whole nother thing. 414, Jeff from the 414. You guys are funny. You act like we'll have 12 All-Stars. When Vaughn and Chourio come back, it will work itself out. And it could.
Yes.
From injuries and whatever else happens. Adam McKelvey, famous for years, telling me every time I had questions like this, Sparky, somebody always gets hurt. It'll work itself out. Right. So, Charlie, yes, go ahead.
Reported as of the pre-2026 season, he has 1 minor league option.
Correct. The question is, does that still exist now
it
today?
Still has it on Fangraphs.
That is the question. All right, moving on. 920. I love the debate and chatter you're having about the Brewers' future lineup. Can you imagine the debate you'll have 2 or 3 years from now? No, we won't have a debate because it's going to be black and white. Like there will be studs
Tyler
everywhere.
Black and white? Is that what you're saying? No. Okay. Yeah. Man, if Jake Bowers is on this team with Mudde and
another one from the 920. I'd rather see Tyler Black over Jake Bowers, but Black is not staying up. He'll be the one option at latest with Yelich back, if not even for
what area code was that from the 920? You would rather see Tyler Black than Jake Bowers. Really? That's where Tyler Black, 13 ABs, has 5 hits right now. He's hitting 385. Great. Have you seen? He's not really ripping the ball. He's getting a lot of bloops.
His deal has always been he doesn't get the ball in the air enough and drive it. Everything is on the ground. That's always been an issue.
And Jake Bowers is one of the best at getting the ball in the air on the team right now.
Yes, correct. I'm just saying the issue with Tyler Black the last couple of times we've seen him, and as Charlie pointed out yesterday, he's barely been up here. It's not like Tyler Black has a full season of at-bats at the major league level. He's not even close to it. So we don't even have really a starting point. My issue with Black is A, there's no power, and B, there's no position defensively that you feel safe with him out there.
And Jake Bowers is a very underrated first baseman defensively.
Yes, agreed. Yeah. I don't disagree. And if Andrew Vaughn wasn't on this team, fine, leave him at first. Let's go.
Yeah, they paid Vaughn. Vaughn's going to get the time. And I completely agree with you that the platoon option shouldn't be a thing. I want Jake Bowers and Andrew Vaughn in the lineup every day. Is Christian Yelich messing this whole thing up that he doesn't play left field anymore? I mean, that's kind of
he could play left field. They just choose not to.
No, I don't think
because they want.
I don't think you want.
I don't think he wants to.
No, I don't. I think he'd do whatever. They just want to keep him healthy.
Exactly.
That's the thing. I mean, they're trying to protect him from him.
Yeah, but Ryan Braun was dogging it in left field for as long as I can remember, right? I mean, you ever see that guy run for a baseball in left field? Yelich, just make a bunch of business decisions in left field. I'm okay with that.
Sure, I'm fine with that. 414. Why can't Black just play third? We've tried that, and we've tried that. He's tried that in the minors. He's not a good defender. I don't know other way to put it. I don't want to make the man mad, but he's just not a good defender. You called him up and put him at designated hitter immediately.
Right.
You didn't even put him. Has he played in the field at all yet?
He maybe has a first base rep, but I don't think he started at first base. I think he could have moved over defensively at some point.
He's strictly up here for his bat. That's it. And they're hoping he can hit. And whether or not he can, we'll wait.
There you go, Wisconsin. Look at that. Tyler Black, no. Jake Bowers, yes. Joey Ortiz, no. David Hamilton, yes. I should have just said that. Then we wouldn't have had this conversation. We could have just moved on from there. That's exactly my thoughts.
Well, we'll see if the Brewers agree with your thoughts in the future. Leadoff show coming up tonight with that guy, Tommy Wirtz. That starts at 5 o'clock. And then tonight, 9:30 to 11, Tim Allen and Tommy Wirtz. And they're on 9:30 to 11. So at 9:30, like last night, the game was in the bottom of the eighth, right? Yeah. Bottom of the eighth is when they went on. And I right away was like, oh, they're on. I'm going to listen. So they were talking through the end of the game. And then when the game got over, then they, went out their thing. So 9:30, they start regardless because we're here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. So the game's going on. You want to see the reactions in a close game and so forth. Hit it up on X, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook on the Fan Milwaukee Facebook page. You'll see him streaming all over the place. Tim Allen, who's anti-video. It's been a great year.
He loves it. He's so feeding into it, man. He loves the video part of this. Yes. I know he does. And I mean, you're going to want to be listening on the home games, especially because if Jake Bowers hits a walk-off home run and I'm on the air, you best believe we might extend the show.
920. A player is only option when they are sent down, not when they are called up. Black will only use up his last option if he is sent down this year, which is what Tommy said earlier.
Right.
Correct.
So again, I don't think he's going anywhere because then they're going to have to make a decision on him, which they've really should have made a decision on Tyler Black years ago because no one has had prospect status longer than Tyler Black in my lifetime for the Milwaukee Brewers. But look, if he's going to hit,
you could send him to the White Sox in a Murakami deal.
Yeah,
you could package him. Yeah, you could be one of the guys that goes.
I think that would be awesome. Yeah, I'd be okay with that.
They're not going to. I'm just saying that's a way to get rid of them with getting something back in return.
Do you think the White Sox just hang up the phone every time the Brewers call now at this point?
I wouldn't pick up the phone if I was any team. I wouldn't. You want a pitcher? Call somebody else. You can get my pitcher. Not gonna make me look like a fool again. Like they've done it to everybody.
Everyone, yeah. But I mean, they've lost a couple too. I mean, the Adames trade, they lost Rasmussen, right?
Yeah, but Willie Adames was way better.
Way
in Milwaukee.
Worth it. Way worth
better
it.
in Milwaukee. Than
I wish Willie
thought.
Adames was on this current Brewers team.
And I'll tell you something else.
Like they need a shortstop.
Anybody else wanting to trade a pitcher? That ain't happening either. Corbin Burns is toast. Josh Hader has been toast and hurt after he started off horribly. Devin Williams has an ERA of 9 right now.
Is the David Stearns trade of Adrian Hauser and Tyrone Taylor for Coleman Crowe going to go down as like his worst trade ever?
Mets fans love Tyrone Taylor.
Really? Is he still even there?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
No. What's Adrian Hauser doing? Is he throwing up on any mounds lately?
He's not as good as he was with the White Sox. I don't believe. No. I think he's come back to earth.
Isn't he a Giant?
Yeah, he's in San Francisco, so he's probably just hating life.
Yeah.
No, he was really good with the White Sox. I don't think he's as good with San Francisco right now.
No, right now he has a 7.36 ERA in 5 games this
season. The White Sox, Sox was complete mirage. That wasn't real.
4 home runs already this year.
Yeah, good luck to you. The Queen of Spice, Wendy's, is taking their already hot and juicy beef and making it, hotter. The new jalapeno ranch cheeseburger. It's hot with jalapenos and ranch for the perfect balance of heat and flavor. But it's only available for a limited time, so get a bite while you can. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, live on Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Coming up next, we talk about the NCAA trying to kill their biggest moneymaker. Straight ahead. Welcome in. It is Wisconsin Sports Daily. Steve Sparky, 5 with you. I hope you are doing well. Text line just flying right now with everybody having this conversation now about Bowers versus Black and all of that stuff. And then the option, whether or not he has an option, doesn't have an option, Tyler Black. So all that fun stuff. Leadoff show coming up again, 5 o'clock with our guy, Tommy Wirtz, getting you ready for the game coming up tonight. Fitzpatrick, the newly called up pitcher, he's going to talk today. So I believe you'll have that on the leadoff show. You'll hear from Pat Murphy on the leadoff show as well. And then after the last pitch, you make the switch. Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, Potawatomi Sportsbook postgame show with Tim Allen and Tommy Wirtz tonight. So the NCAA tournament, apparently it looks like it's expanding again because we haven't expanded it enough. Now, this is the thing. It's a real simple question. Do you think the NCAA is ruining the tournament by expanding it again? You think they're ruining it? Nicolay Law Talking text line 414-677-1250. 414-677-1250. On the socials at WI Sports Radio, Instagram Live. We are there streaming. We are on X. We are on Facebook, on the Fan Milwaukee Facebook page. We are on YouTube. You can find all the different shorts and stuff. Charlie did a short with from our Alan True interview yesterday from Rivals and On 3. It was a really, really good time on the Badgers football recruiting class. You missed that. Go back, check that out as well. This is where I'm at on it. If we believe that the Cinderella stories will be very few going forward in college basketball because of NIL, because of the transfer portal, and so forth. If we believe that to be true, then why in the world are you throwing more teams into this thing if you don't think any of these teams legitimately have a chance to make that type of run anymore in this tournament? Well, the answer is simple. Money. Greed. That's what it's all about. So now we add more games. So now we can take the more games that we're adding to this thing and do what? They're going to take it and they're going to go sell it to a streaming app or to another TV brand like the CW or somebody. And they're going to get those those additional TV games that they're going to add here. And they'll have another TV brand or streaming app that can come in. Then after they do that, then they can now go to their advertisers and go, oh boy, in 2027, look at the record-breaking amount of views we had of the NCAA tournament, which then means that now you will continue to jack up advertising rates and so forth. It sounds crazy, but I am more and more convinced if I live to see 70, 75, so another 20, 25 years, we're eventually going to see pretty much everybody in this thing. And it's just going to be the end of the year tournament that's going to take like 2 months. And this thing will not even get done until the beginning of May. And they will start this thing in the beginning of March. Conference tournaments will be in February. And this whole thing will wrap up by like the last weekend in April. And they're going to try and make it go as long as humanly possible and keep everybody watching. It's no different than the National Football League. It's no different than the NBA or Major League Baseball or the NHL. You want to have as many fan bases watching till the very, very end of the season as possible. You know, back in the day, you have 2 teams making the playoffs in each league in Major League Baseball. A lot of fan bases were done watching Major League Baseball by the time July hit because they knew it was over and they weren't going to be able to do anything. They checked out. Training camp started for the Packers. Cool. See you, Brewers. And done. Bye-bye, County Stadium. Not going there anymore. It's over. And it's all done. So then you redo divisions under Bud Selig. You create the wild cards. You add more wild cards. The NBA was made fun of for the longest time for having over half of their teams in the playoffs. 16 of 30. Over half. The NBA said, no. That's not enough. Let's add in a play-in tournament. And let's add in 4 more teams from each conference, each league, to get into this thing. So now you got 8 additional teams that are now being dragged through this, having more fan bases watch at least one more game, having fan bases pay tickets for at least one more game to watch their favorite team, where before they would have been done watching it weeks in advance. For money, for greed. That's what this is all about. And I don't think the NCAA tournament is stopping where we're at. This thing is, there's no question, this thing is going to get to 100. It's definitely going to get up into that area within the next, 10 years probably. We're going to be at 100 teams somewhere in that area. They're just not going to stop. You want to know why? Because nobody's not going to watch it. Unless all of a sudden they see a plummet in ratings or people stop filling out brackets on all these websites and everybody's like, hey, all of our brackets are gone. Nobody's playing our bracket competitions anymore. What is going on? If that happens, then they'll red flag it and then maybe they'll walk some of this back. But until that happens, they're going to continue to add teams every few years. This is not going to stop anytime soon, Charlie.
Well, and I think you're right. At the base of it all is money. But I also think that the NCAA right now feels threatened by the Big Ten and SEC and what they potentially want to do in separating from the NCAA and doing their own thing because they think they can financially withhold that. And I think the NCAA making a move like this can then turn to the Big Ten and the SEC and say, hey, look, we're trying to get as many of your teams as possible into this tournament. Adding 8 more teams this year alone would get Auburn into the tournament, would get some of these other smaller teams that maybe didn't have as great of a season into this tournament so they can say, hey, we tried. We got these guys. We gave them an opportunity. We gave them the extra views for at least one more game. We're doing what we can to keep you guys around because the Big Ten and SEC are the big money makers for the NCAA. They're going to try to use that to their advantage while also, yes, you're right, get more money just by having games in general overall.
I really don't think the NCAA tournament is thinking about the Big Ten and SEC breaking off. I don't think in their minds there's any fear of the Big Ten and the SEC breaking off for a couple of different reasons. Number one, the football programs of those schools are the money drivers at those schools. And that's not the Big East, right? Where you have Marquette and St. John's and these schools that don't have football programs. Those schools are reliant on basketball to be the drivers of money for their school. But that's not the driver at Wisconsin. It's not the driver at Northwestern or
Nobody
Illinois.
can be a pot sweetener for those schools. If you can say that we can help boost these schools and these universities in that fashion, then maybe that's a little side thing to convince the big money maker in football not to leave. Because if football leaves, they all leave.
Absolutely. Yeah. So the football programs leave. Yes. All programs will leave. I think you're 100% correct on if that is going to happen. I don't think either one of those conferences have the guts to break off and go do that. There are way too many university presidents and everything else involved here that the NCAA would do everything in their power to make sure that doesn't happen. And I have not heard anything of that recently at all. And I don't think we're going to see anything of that, including look at the playoffs in football. That's where they're taking care of those two schools by continuing to expand the playoffs, or those two conferences by expanding the playoffs. I really don't think their NCAA tournament bracket conversation, I don't think that even comes up in the conversation when they're making the decision. Could be wrong. I don't think it comes up, though. Lewis, north side of Milwaukee, you're next on Wisconsin Sports Daily with me, Steve Sparky Pfeiffer. What's up?
What's up, Spark? Great topic.
Thanks.
Here's where I see this NCAA tournament going. I'm talking 5, 6, 7 years. The whole tournament's totally on Netflix or totally on Prime Video. And after that happens, the NCAA, the official March Madness tournament probably has like 5 or 6 years left after that. What's stopping Amazon from telling the best team in the country, you know what? Forget the Final Four tournament. Let's play in this college basketball tournament. I'm going to give all of your players $5 million a piece.
Nothing.
Or something crazy like that.
Yeah.
Like these companies can do it. There's other basketball tournaments at the end of the year. We already know that.
Well,
all it's going to take is somebody to pump a lot of money into it, and the Final Four is bye-bye.
I'm pretty sure back in the day, the NIT was the tournament. And then the NCAA tournament came along and pretty much stole it. So, yes, I think there is a very, very good chance that at some point, some type of private company could take this over and throw so much money at it that it could sway things. The only problem with that is you'd have a huge, huge fight on everybody's hands between the NCAA and those schools where there could be threats made. You play in that tournament, you're out. Then you could go into what Charlie is
It's the
talking
Big
about,
Ten and SEC,
potentially
yeah.
where
They can fight
conferences are like,
themselves.
well, screw you. If you're not going to let us play in this, we're going to go do our own thing. Thanks for the call. Very well could, at that point, go that way if somebody came with that. $5 million a kid. Holy crap. Even if it was, whatever the number was to the winning school, that's a big deal.
But if you pay attention to the golf world, Liv is falling apart off of that
Yes.
almost same exact kind of game plan.
Yep.
Is pay these guys a ton of money up front, hope that they just stick around and makes enough money. That's a really risky gamble to take if you're just one of these companies and you're watching it fail live right now with the Live Golf Tour.
I totally agree with you on that. All that Saudi money all of a sudden is gone. For the Nicolay Law Talk text line from the 414, they need to split out NCAA basketball into different levels like football for the tournament. So for this, do you say the NCAA tournament is Power 4, Power 5, whatever you determine it is, and then the other teams then would go play in the NIT, and the NIT then becomes that next level. So there would be no Horizon schools qualifying. You would eliminate all Cinderellas because all these mid-majors would have their own tournament to go determine who the best team is. Then maybe Amazon steps in and goes, hey, we're going to pay $10 million to the winning team. The winner of that tournament plays the winner of the NCAA tournament for the cash, and you get the winner of both tournaments in a one-game deal to go play somewhere.
You could do that, I guess. That just feels like a lot of splitting hairs for no reason.
Again,
a little confusing.
Right, but it would be less teams. But again, would people still be in the bracket if there are no possibilities of Cinderella? Don't know. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky with you. This is another good song I'm going to miss out of our bumper music rotation starting on Friday. I like this song too. This is another good one. It is Wisconsin Sports Daily. See Sparky Fiber with you. Charlie Hughes producing. Other side of the glass. Step up to the plate. Take a shot at winning major prizes in the $300,000 Big League Series at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee, April through June. May 1st is Friday, by the way. You can win a share of $300,000 in prizes. All monthly promo entries count towards the grand finale drawing on June 26th. Get triple the entries during Brewers home games. That would be tonight. And score one of 3 all-new Toyota vehicles. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play. Only at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. Definitely want to check that out for sure today. Coming up on the other side, my God, it's 4:00 already. What happened to that hour?
Flew by, baby.
Yeah.
Well, Tommy Words happened.
Tommy Words happen. Words happens. It does. That should be a shirt.
That should be a good shirt. Yeah.
That should be a shirt. Words happens. Green and gold update coming up next. Dan Orlovsky. We got to play some of Dan Orlovsky for you coming up straight ahead. Also, Charlie Sounds of the Day. We moved to 4:20 because we talked so long. Lots to do and things Sparky missed. Lots. May have to have a special, bigger edition of Things Sparky missed coming up at 4:40. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Happy Wednesday. Sparky with you.
Some shows talk about one team. Other shows barely talk sports. This show will talk Packers, Brewers, and Bucks. Every day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
It is that time again. 4 o'clock. This show has absolutely flown by. I tell you. Coming up at 5 o'clock, 1 hour from now, the leadoff show with Tommy Wirtz. Then, after the last bit, you make the switch to the Potawatomi Sportsbook postgame show with Tim Allen and Tommy Wirtz from 9:30 to 11. Again, that show will start at 9:30. So the game's in the bottom of the 8th or top of the 9th. They're on. And you can watch them right there on X, on YouTube, Facebook, Fan Milwaukee, on Instagram Live, all of those at WI Sports Radio for you. I know TikTok's coming. I keep TikTok. We'll get there little by little. Like if you would have told me a year ago that we would have been streaming live on all of these platforms on Wisconsin Sports Daily, I would have said, yeah, probably not going to happen. We aren't going to be able to pull that off. We have too much other stuff we're trying to figure out. But here we are. A year ago, if you would have said we were going to have the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, I would have laughed at you and said, yeah, that's not happening. Are you kidding me? Charlie would have laughed at you too.
2.5 years ago when you were told that we would even have the local station, you didn't even think we'd be there.
No, I did not. No, I mean, we are doing way better than I ever thought we would. You go back to how I was thinking a couple of years ago for sure. All right, coming up this hour, Charlie Sounds of the Day moves to 4:20 because we talked too long there in the 3 o'clock hour, mainly of the Brewers. We talked like a half hour there on the Brewers. Tommy Wirtz, myself, and Charlie debating that. So we'll move that to 4:20. Things Sparky missed, lots of stuff. Like if you've ever been to a Buc-ee's, I need participation on this at 4:40. If you've ever been to a Buc-ee's, I'm going to need some help there. An interesting story involving a high school basketball team in prom that we need to get to as well. And this Jesus Made throw that it's getting way overhyped. We got to talk about that too coming up at 4:40. So just stay tuned for all of that coming up at 4:40. But it is 4 o'clock. Let's go. No, that's not what I wanted. Oh my goodness gracious. See, you and your little coloring everything wrong that got
and then
me
I
there.
never changed the color.
Right, you're such a jerk.
It's time for your green and gold update on Wisconsin Sports Daily, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer.
All right, here we are. Now, normally in this segment, we will talk Green Bay Packers football. That's normally what happens. If you were listening earlier today to 9 to noon with John Kuhn, no John Kuhn because flight got screwed up yesterday, so wasn't able to do the show today. If you were listening yesterday, or today, I should say, you heard Brandon call me out on the air, Mr. Snide, call me out on the air about my takes on the draft class. And this was all instigated by somebody who texted in and said, Sparky said this was Gutekunst's worst draft ever. I never, ever said that.
No, you haven't.
Never at
You've
any
been critical,
point.
but you
I've
never
said it was his worst draft ever. So he's like, Brandon's like, well, if Sparky's listening, come on in here. I was at my desk. Okay. You want it?
Pulled the Tommy?
You want it. Here I come. So I came in here. They went to break, and then we went back and forth, me, him, and Rami, and it was fun. I had a good time with it. But anyways, so we talked about the Packers in the draft class yesterday. So today I wanted to do something a little bit more different and fun and so forth. Dan Orlovsky. I love Dan Orlovsky. And back in the day, before Orlovsky blew up on ESPN, he used to come on all the time. Like, call him, text him. Yeah, no problem. I got you. I'll come on. That was back when he was just doing the social media diagramming and stuff before he hit it big. He would just come on, you DM him, and he'd come on, and super nice guy and all that. No problem. So Dan Orlovsky was on Bussin' with the Boys podcast, which can be very, very entertaining for certain at times, depending who they get on him. And the one thing that they're able to do, and McAfee was this way, and I don't know if McAfee is this way anymore now that he's went big time with ESPN and all that. I just don't know if everybody has the same comfort level. Before, people would just chill and forget, I think, that they were actually had people listening and just talked. And he got huge stories out of it. Bussin' with the Boys doesn't get as much of that as they used to, but they sometimes will get somebody just to chill out, relax, and they'll get a bunch of stuff out of them. And nothing with Orlovsky necessarily is is, gigantic news or anything like that, but a lot of stuff that I thought was kind of insightful and fun. So as I said, I like Orlovsky. This is a simple question for y'all. You don't have to call if you don't want to. Just texting is fine. And any type of short explanation, if you have one, would be fine too. Who's your favorite football TV personality right now on TV? Can be pro, can be college, doesn't matter. Could be a play-by-play guy, could be an analyst, could be somebody that does a podcast, could be somebody that does a radio show on college sports. Like, for instance, it could be College Sports Weekly. That guy, Dan Underberg, is my favorite, personality talking football. I love listening to him talk football. Or Down with Chillis, right? Saturday mornings, 9 to 11. They're my favorite personalities. Sure, whatever. I'm not going to be critical. Whoever. Everybody's got their favorite. I, for one, love Orlovsky. That's my favorite guy. Not that I agree with his food takes, but that's my favorite guy.
He said Ty Simpson was the best quarterback in the draft this year, sparking the Rams.
Yes.
Rams believed him.
Correct. And then the Rams had secret meetings with him. And Simpson, to his credit, never told anybody, even after he got drafted. Nope, never met Sean McVay. Nope, don't know anything about him.
They were saying he just misunderstood what they were saying, Sparky. That's what they said.
Bring him to L.A. and Les Snead's like, hey, dog, you don't have to do that anymore. You can be honest now. Oh, okay, all right, sounds good. He didn't want to get anybody in trouble. Like, I think he thought maybe there was some shenanigans going on. And Les Snead's point, the GM of the Rams, was a good one, which is, hey, man, anytime you bring a player in, what happens? Hey, so who have you met with so far? Yeah, who was at your pro workout day? Yeah, these guys are just fishing, trying to see who's interested so they can kind of mock it up to get an idea of who's interested and who's not.
If they need to trade up. Yeah.
To their point, Les Snead's point was, I don't want anybody knowing who I'm interested in. So we do this stuff, and then we tell our guys, strongly suggest that they don't tell anybody that we're interested in them because we want to get our guys.
And it
makes sense to me.
And it works out pretty well for them. They tend to have some of the best draft classes year in, year out.
Yes, makes sense to me. Okay, so Orlovsky, since he's my favorite personality, I'd like to play a couple of his clips that I thought were entertaining. First, this one here. I shook my head at this one. Check this out. Dan Orlovsky talking about being on social media when he first gets to ESPN and Adam Schefter getting involved.
Two of my favorite Shefty stories. One of them's really a story. Once, probably like 4 years ago, I was listening to Shefty tell a story. I don't know who he was talking to. I think Greeny was one of the people. And he was just like, 90% of the stuff I hear, I don't share. Right when he said that, I was like, you run the NFL. You know exactly what's going on with the NFL. But when I first started working at ESPN, so like 8 years ago, I sent out a tweet with the emoji eyes. Just that. I don't remember for what. He called me within 30 seconds. He's like, what's that? I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, what's your tweet about? And I was like, oh, I don't know. I think I'm being stupid or something like that. And he was like, don't do that.
Really?
Yeah. He's like, don't do that, because if you do that, it makes me think that something's going on. And I'm sorry, I will not do that.
You think he's got a lot of people's notifications turned on?
Oh, I don't know. Sure. I'm sure some people, I'm sure the people that he thinks matter. I don't think that was the case with me, because I was.
Well, maybe the notification popped up.
Maybe, but he was like, yeah, don't do that. I was like, got it.
How big of a supersized ego do you have to call some dude up and be like, no, you don't do that? No, because then I'm going to think something's up. And I've been like, dude, get the heck off my phone. Get out of here. I tweet what the heck I want. You must be joking me. Man, that is psychotic. Like, that is psychotic at the highest of all levels. Adam Schefter, if you're so good, you should just know what's going on. You should not be so insecure that Orlovsky has eyeballs and then you expect him to tell you? Man, get out of here. That's crazy.
Acting like even if he did have something to share or some kind of news that was breaking, that you wouldn't just immediately get on it after he posted and then still be the number one person that people are turning to find out the news. Like, it doesn't matter if you're second. He didn't want to get
scooped by the new guy, Orlovsky, on his story.
You're still the biggest guy breaking news. It's like, people are still going to turn to you. They're not going to think bad of you because you're a second person to the news.
This is the one thing that blows my mind about really, really successful people. Is how freaking insecure they are about what they do. And to a degree,
Sham's in the same boat there with how he called the Bucks after the Doc Rivers stuff.
Correct. So very, very insecure about what you do, holding on to your job, not losing your job, and essentially working scared to a certain degree. But having said that, and even though it looks dumb from the outside, like, Dude, you're Adam Schefter. Who cares if Dan Orlovsky has a story and you don't? You're Adam Schefter, right? Who cares? But apparently he cared a lot. And Orlovsky just got there, right? But that's what helps to make these guys great. Just like if you're talking about a basketball player that's putting up 100 shots a day or 500 shots a day or whatever it is in the offseason, right? Working as hard as they can so they can stay at the top of the game so these new guys coming in aren't going to outwork them, right? They're going to stay at the top. That's what it is. That's why they work as hard as they do. Some work to be the greatest of all time. Others outwork that hard to make sure they don't lose their gig. So they outwork everybody else. And you always hear people say it's what you do when nobody's watching. That's the biggest thing, right? When nobody's talking about you in the off season and you're busting your butt in the gym, getting shots up, or you're busting your butt trying to figure out how to hit fly balls instead of ground balls, Tyler Black. When you're doing that type of stuff, that's how you're going to get to the next level. When you're working that hard all the time and you just don't stop. It's just you live it, you eat it, you breathe it. That's what it is. That's how they get to be that level. Not everybody has that drive, and that insecurity really they use to their benefit, and that's what keeps them motivated and going at that next level. But again, if I was Orlovsky, I'd be like, man, get out.
Well, that's the other side of this where Dan Orlovsky isn't playing the same game as Adam Schefter. You don't have to talk. You don't have to talk down to people or try to claim territory in spaces that you don't need to do that. That seems insane to me. And yes, I get this working hard type of thing. And maybe from Schefter's point of view, he sees the eyes. He's not mad at Orlovsky for joking, but more so that he sees eyes and all of a sudden now he's got to go text 5 different guys, do extra work for a rumor that's maybe not even a rumor. So he's mad that Orlovsky may be putting him on a wild goose chase, not really mad at Orlovsky for trying to break into his territory.
I got a bunch of text messages coming in here asking you, who's your favorite football TV personality? MKE Scott, of course, Matt LePay locally. Yeah, LePay's he's gold. I mean, he's really, really good. I like Larry V too. I think Larry V is really good too. When Larry V first started, he irritated me, and I talked about it on the radio because you'd be having it on the background. He'd go nuts. You come running over and realize the Bears scored. And you're like, oh my God. And then you're working and you go running over as the Lions scored. Oh, just stop. It's not a national game, man. Call it like it's a local game.
He just loves football, man.
Right. Well, but again, he was a national and was whatever. A play-by-play guy, and that's kind of how he called it, not to the home team's advantage when you're calling. And I think as a fan, most fans would prefer that one way or the other. 414, Peter in Milwaukee. I'm partial to Colin Cowherd. Colin Cowherd, his podcast, I think number one. I think it's number one on the latest Media Watch. I think they're the ones that go over in the podcast downloads and all that other stuff. I think Cowherd is number one. 262 Scotty Tiffany says Kirk Herbstreit. Hey, Kirk Herbstreit's good. You could save the dog stuff. I don't really need all that nonsense. Kirk Herbstreit's good, and good luck outworking Kirk Herbstreit in the crazy, crazy hours. And I also don't think they need the TV traveling with him everywhere he goes to show how much he's working. We don't need all of that either. It was cute one time to follow him for a day. Then it became overkill.
Well, and then he does it on his own too. On his social media, he's always posting the little vlogs too all the time. He's got enough coverage. It's okay.
She also says, and Peter. I'm assuming
that's the dog. Yeah.
Oh, that's the name of the dog.
I'm pretty sure that's the name of the dog. Yeah, the new one.
I thought Bukowski was actually getting some love from somebody. That would have been something. 414. Another one says Chris Collinsworth and Mike Tirico. Exciting and non-biased in terms to teams for the most part. I will always be a Mike Tirico fan. I think Tirico is amazing at what he does. No argument there. Collinsworth grinds a lot of people's gears. The Pro Football Focus thing that he started was brilliant, and I'm sure made a ton of money off of. So that works. I don't mind listening to Collinsworth, but again, he is hit or miss with most people. Either you hate him or you're down with him and you get down with him. I don't think there are a lot of people that are like, yeah, he's okay.
Are there really any national guys anymore nowadays that aren't like that, aren't super polarizing to a lot of people where you either love them or hate them? I feel like there's not just a overall, oh, that's the best team, that's the best guy out there.
No, Romo brings a lot of.
But people start to not like Romo anymore now
Correct.
too.
Right.
Like they liked him at first. Now
But my
people
point
hate
is,
Romo.
the guys that are getting paid are guys that you have big opinions of, positive or negative. Guys that you go, it's okay, aren't the ones that are on the number 1 or number 2 teams on Fox or CBS
That's why
or whatever.
Greg Olson probably got booted down because he was good, but just not
Again,
special.
Buck and Aikman. They have a huge response from people that love them or hate them. They have for a long time. That's why they get paid. Again, if you have that big response, emotional response from somebody, that's how you get paid in terms of media. 414, Farrell on the bench. Scotty Farrell. I like Scotty Farrell. He's a fun listen, no doubt.
That used to be the show. Like I had a little radio in my room growing up,
Yeah.
and I would switch between stations all the time. So it was like 670. It was here, but Scott Farrell was always on late night, and it was like it put me to sleep somehow.
Man.
I don't know how his voice put me to sleep, but it put me to sleep.
I used to watch that dude because he's older. I used to watch that dude when it was a sports channel out of Chicago. I grew up in Kenosha on the border, so we would get sports channel, and they would show that show on TV, him doing his radio show, and he was out of his damn mind back then. He's way more calm now. He was out of his damn mind. Well, he had a lot of stuff going on personally too back then. But yeah, pop the beer open and all that other stuff that he used to do back in the day. Okay, so here's another one from Dan Orlovsky. This is him explaining how he watches football games and the NFL season. Again, think to yourself, how many games do you watch? Not that you're getting paid to watch them, but you probably watch pack game, a couple other games. Probably don't even watch the full games of the other games. Here's Orlovsky.
I never go into a game trying to find anything. I just watch the game, kind of like how I did as a player. On Sunday, I usually have a pretty good idea on Monday morning from our producers that'll be on Monday morning shows of like, these are the games that we're most likely going to talk about. Sunday, I'll start rewatching the games that happened at 1 o'clock at about 5 o'clock, probably go to about 11 or 12. I don't watch Sunday Night Football. I wake up at 4 o'clock on Monday morning. I watch Sunday Night Football. On the ride in Monday morning, I'll watch another game. So usually by Monday morning, I've had like 6 to 7 games watched. Do Monday TV, hop in the car, go to Bristol. That's 2 hours. I'll watch 2 more games on the way in. On the ride home from NFL Live, it's about an hour home from my house. So I'll watch another game. So usually by Monday night, give or take, I've seen 8 to 10 games. And then Tuesday, wake up, watch 3 or 4 more. Wednesday, usually finish the games. Every snap.
So by Wednesday, you're cooking.
That is crazy. That's crazy. First of all, if you were doing the quick math, he's in a car 4 hours every Monday, dude.
Yeah, that's insane. I guess you get a lot of time to watch some football there too, especially if you're speeding it up a little bit through like the timeouts.
Yeah,
and all
I mean,
that.
he's got a driver. He ain't driving himself. I mean, that is crazy.
Yeah. I mean, like, I think I probably go. So I watch my 2 games, the Bears and the Packers, every weekend, and then probably 2 more games. So I'm doing like 4 by Monday by this show. And I feel like that's a lot sometimes.
No doubt. Right. I mean, I can't even imagine. That is a lot of football. So that's why when people get mad at him, oh, you know what you're talking about. Come on.
He knows what he's talking about.
What the hell he's talking about. No, it's just stop. Just stop. Like, he knows, man. He's watching everything of everybody. Now, again, he's not watching every college game, but he's watching all the pro games. And then I'm sure, and I don't
probably still watching a couple college games at least.
Right. But that's the other thing, right? So, like, how much college football does he watch going up to the draft or after the draft? Once these guys are drafted on teams, now does he go back and watch, all of Ty Simpson? He watched plenty of Ty Simpson, obviously leading up to it. So that's part of it. And Mendoza, he put out a post on X, watching Mendoza for the first time and ... Surprised by what I'm seeing. I was like, that's probably not good. And then by the end of it, he had Ty Simpson over him.
Yeah, and I think, again, Ty Simpson's still a highly debated thing with Dan Orlovsky. Like, people are talking about that and still getting on him, even with the Rams drafting him 15th. Like, it doesn't really matter. They're still on him about that. So, yeah, we'll see what happens.
Raiders got an offensive guy running that program. So this is not going to be, Simpson had McVay and the Raiders had a defensive coordinator or a head coach with an incompetent offensive mind. That's not what this is.
It helps build the offensive line a little bit. It's still not a good offensive line. Ashton Genty should take a next step for that.
And they took that cat from Arkansas with him. That dude's a beast.
Yeah, they got a lot.
Tall, fast, all muscles. Woo.
They got a lot going there. It's just that team always feels like it has a lot of young talent that they just never access. So they got to learn how to start accessing some of that young talent.
Totally agree with you. Dan Orlovsky is my favorite guy, football personality. Who is your favorite football TV personality? Then we'll get to Charlie Sounds today. Nikolai Law talking text line 414-677-1250. Here's the last one from Bustin' with the Boys of Dan Orlovsky. This is very funny. Charlie's not here yet, but maybe Charlie has stories from when he was growing up with his mom and dad, with his sisters. Check this out.
I told you I had a bet that I lost. That was worse. We have the 14-year-old triplets. We have chose, like, for them, they don't have cell phones. And
before we get any further, God bless anybody that has triplets. I can't even fathom what that would be like. 3 babies, all crying at night at the same time.
Not just that, they're all boys too.
Hungry at the same time. Like all of that. Like, oh my goodness gracious. 3 boys all playing travel ball. And you better hope they're all on the same team, because if they all like different sports, you and your girl are screwed trying to get them everywhere, right? I couldn't even imagine. All right. So anyways, so his point is none of these 3 14-year-olds have cell phones. All right. They refuse to buy them cell phones.
We've like totally made the commitment, like no cell phones to the end of 8th grade. There's one other kid in 8th grade in our town who doesn't have cell phones other than our 3 sons. We're down at the beach last week in Seaside, and my 2 sons, Hunter and Noah, who are Madden's brothers, they go, us 2 versus you and mom in spike ball. If we win, we get cell phones next week. We're sitting on the beach having a good time. I'm like, there's no way you 2 idiots are beating me and mom. My wife's a good athlete. My wife could have gone and played college lacrosse. They fudging boat raced us, dude. So now I have to go get them cell phones.
What did you get in return?
If we had won, they weren't going to get it till junior year.
Buddy, that's a big L.
Dude,
that's
yeah,
a massive
I
L.
was yelling at my wife like I was Danny Hurley. I was looking at her like, what are you doing? Finally got to the point where she's like, yo, stop. Her and I stunk that day.
That's amazing. Yelling at his wife because she sucks and they're getting killed by their 14-year-old kids. It's a dangerous game that you play. You start making bets with your kids about athletic things.
And then you find out how old you really are then too, huh?
Buddy.
You're pulling hips and stuff.
Yeah, dumb. Don't do that. Oh, I'll play horse. Okay.
Good luck.
All of a sudden you get torched and you're like, and I just lost that. And they just got something I didn't want them to have.
And
right?
now my back hurts for a week.
Yeah, right. I can't walk. Think I pulled a hamstring, like all bad stuff. 262, Peyton and Eli, they entertain and can have high-level breakdowns. About that, the first 2 years, I was totally invested in that show and watching them instead of watching the play-by-play crew, because the play-by-play crew, quite frankly, was boring and did nothing for me. But when they switched the play-by-play crew, I have not watched Peyton and Eli since.
Well, and I feel like this past year too with Peyton and Eli, they had a lot of guests that just weren't as football focused. And there was a lot of moments where they had like comedians that were just kind of making jokes and doing their thing and stuff. And it's like, yeah, I guess that's what that guy's going to do. But at some point we want to watch the game and talk about football too. And they were getting away from that.
608, Ryan Horvat. Yeah, man. Back in the day, BetMGM tonight used to be a part of the morning show in Milwaukee. On the Fan, that dude knows his stuff, especially if we're talking about gambling and making money and all that. Yeah, that dude is good stuff. All right, take a quick timeout. Come back on the other side. Charlie Sounds of the Day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky here. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily. See Sparky, 5 for Charlie using with you. Coming up, 5 o'clock, half hour from right now, the big old hunk of love. He is Tommy Wirtz. Get you ready for Brewers D-backs game 2. Now, we know one thing about the Brewers. The history says they'll score like 1 or no runs tonight after throwing up 13 yesterday, right? That's history tells us their offense will be flat tonight based on yesterday.
Probably. But hey, you never know. History has also said before that sometimes they can rack up 3 of these games in a row and then go flat, but 3 games in a row.
I'd love to get on a run like the Cubs were, where they won 10 in a row. They're averaging like 9 runs a game or something stupid like that. Like that would be amazing to get on some type of offensive run and then add Churio and Vaughn back in this thing next week potentially would be really good stuff. Okay, it is not 3:40. It is 4:30, but better late than never. Let's go.
1, 2, 3. What sound clips will Chicago Charlie pick today for Sparky? Will Sparky become enraged? Will laughter ensue? It's time for Charlie's Sound of the Day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
Okay, here we are. Charlie, where are we going first?
All right. So first up, we're going to head on over to ESPN where Jay Williams was on Get Up this morning, and he was discussing why he hates this NCAA tournament expansion. It's a little different reason than what we were talking about.
You know, anybody that wakes up today and thinks that more Cinderellas are going to get a larger invitation, and this is about the royal family having more seats at the table. And the royal family are the power conferences here. They're going to generate more revenue, more at-large bids. And what I hate about this, ultimately, guys, is we have conversations a lot about 82 games in the regular season for the NBA. To me, this devalues the regular season for college basketball, right? It means more games, fewer games that actually matter. And when you think about it, at the end of the day, more at-large teams are going to get in from power conferences. And Mike, this ultimately leads to a bigger conversation, right? Look at CFP in college football. The last chokehold for college basketball is the NCAA tournament for the NCAA. So they're going to try to drive as much revenue as possible. But look at what we saw with Miami. The ACC, when they got to the CFP, was like, okay, you don't have to distribute that amongst all the teams in the ACC. You keep it. So the NCAA is trying to make the power conferences happy in order to maintain the NCAA tournament.
Amen.
Because inevitably, guys, the power conferences are going to break away from the NCAA tournament. That is going to happen. You can book that.
I'll book that. I'll take that bet. Y'all want to bet that? We'll bet that. The only way that happens is if football breaks first. This is all going to go based on what football wants. Just telling you, like, they're not breaking away if football does not have a deal in place for what they're going to do. There's just no chance. Well, the Big Ten and the SEC, that's the king and the queen. Pick which one you want to be which. But those are the two that will determine if they break away or not. And if they break away or not, it will be because they have some mega gigantic football deal in place in order to take care of all the universities to even a higher level than they're getting taken care of now. And already they're getting spoiled pretty good. So if that happens, then obviously, yes, the basketball programs obviously go with the football schools, and then they come up with something otherwise than what the NCAA tournament has at this point. I will agree with Jay Williams on the fact of it, again, devalues what the regular season really is. And to me, it already was devalued. You do not need to watch every Badger basketball game or every Marquette basketball game. You really don't need to even really start watching for most people until January or so. That's when people start kind of tuning in once the football season is wrapping up. That's when people start tuning into college basketball. That's when people start tuning into the NBA and start getting into basketball mode a little bit more. So I agree with Jay Williams on that. It would be nice if these mid-majors actually got 2 teams instead of 1. Like if the Horizon got their tournament champ and 1 more team because of this, that would be sweet. Then I think you get more fan bases. Now, again, not as big of fan bases as Wisconsin. Green Bay doesn't have that. Milwaukee doesn't have that. But you would definitely have more excitement. And those schools, I bet you, would travel better than the schools that go every year to these first-round regional matchups.
Probably. And I think that with, like, those teams, you have the more diehard fans. But at the same time, I think the NCAA, if, again, it's Auburn or if it's Northwestern that needs to get into that spot, they'd still rather have those teams over the mid-major schools at the end of the day. They still value
Correct.
those bigger conferences.
Correct. I agree with you on that. All right, what's the next one?
Next up, we're going to stay on Get Up, but this time we're going to hear from Mike Wilbon, and he was discussing the Aaron Rodgers Steelers saga that's going on right now.
The question is why anybody gives a damn. Okay.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers is not LeBron James. We've got a sample size now of about 5 years. He is going to the Hall of Fame. He has earned every accolade he's got. He's had a truly distinguished Hall of Fame career. It's over in terms of winning in the National Football League. The Steelers are tied, really. So they're tied to him.
Yes.
What are they doing? What is a franchise that has historically made the soundest decisions? If you point to what franchises over the last 50 years, you're going to have the Steelers and 49ers, are going to be right there. Obviously, the Patriots. The continued obsession with Aaron Rodgers is laughable in terms of winning. Is he going to be their quarterback? Who cares? Not LeBron James, not Tom Brady. It doesn't matter.
I don't really know what the beef is here. You help explain to me what the beef is with Aaron Rodgers. From a quarterback rating standpoint, he stands on his own. Like, you can talk about the cheater Brady, and you can talk about Montana and all these other guys, but if you take Aaron Rodgers against Brady and Montana, eye test, it's not real. Like, Rodgers kills them both. And we're just talking eye test, making all the throws, more mobile than both of them, stronger arm than both of them, can do all of that stuff better than both of those two guys can. Aaron Rodgers had a lot of talent in Green Bay around him. Now, did he have Jerry Rice? No, but he had Jordy Nelson. He had Devontae Adams. He had quite a bit of talent. He had Donald Driver, right? He had quite a bit of talent to work with, and he got to one. Only one. And then all the games that get played of, does he want to play or not want to play? He got that from 4. 4 did that for 5 years to the Packers before he came back each and every year. And then he pulled the same crap in Minnesota with them, pulled the same thing with the Jets because he wanted to get to Minnesota, so he threatened to retire. All that stuff he learned from the predecessor. He's playing the same script, the same game. The Steelers hired Mike McCarthy to get Aaron Rodgers back for another year. They did not hire Mike McCarthy because they didn't think Aaron was coming back. I promise you.
No, and they didn't really go and do anything else quarterback-wise. So Will Howard, I'm pretty sure, still their backup quarterback.
They love Will Howard over there, boy, in Pittsburgh. Lot of hype around Will Howard in Pittsburgh. Lot of hype. Is he that good of a pro player? We'll find out at some point.
He's sitting behind Aaron Rodgers, so I guess that helps maybe.
They like him. That's all I hear out of Pittsburgh, how much they like Will Howard. All right, what else?
And last up here, we're going to head over to Derek White and his podcast with Full Court Pass, and he was discussing Joe Mazzulla's weird reward for winning a drill.
If you win a drill, it seems like, there's a winner. Like, usually the loser runs. But we did this thing where the winners run. Like, you're getting rewarded by running. It was like, we got to change our mindset that, like, winning is the reward. And, like, running is our, reward. And, like, we don't get to stand by and just watch. Like, it's hard to win. And so, like, I don't know, it makes it harder. It was actually, like, I think it was a cool message. It's like, you win, you can't relax.
Yeah, I think that's fair, right? Doesn't that seem to be the right message to everybody?
I guess so. I think it's easier to give that message to those guys to some degree. I think you can't do that at like a youth level, I think when you have a reward of running, most kids, yes, you maybe want to change their mindset on it, but would see it as a negative thing. You get tired, you feel sick. Like, if that's what you're getting for winning, you don't want to do that.
Has an asthma attack.
You don't want to do that anymore. You're gonna get burnt out as a kid. So yes, I think if you have the people that already have this mindset of being winners, being paid to be winners at this point, you can kind of get them to do this. And I'm sure he's not doing this every practice. This kind of sounds like this is like a one practice thing that he made them do probably at the beginning of the season last year, right after they win the championship, just to keep them going. But at the same time, I don't think it's applicable to every level of this sport.
No, and there's a lot of me people. They're gonna be like, go to hell. I ain't doing that, right? I mean,
have you tried? Doc Rivers tried to do that with his Bucks team.
Oh,
He would have got beat up.
Right. No chance. There's no chance that's going to happen. I totally agree with you on that. Coming up next, things Sparky missed. Lots to get to. Very entertaining. I think everything is very entertaining on this list that we have coming up. Step up to the plate and take a shot at winning major prizes in the $300,000 Big League Series at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. April through June, you can win a share of $300,000 in prizes. All monthly promo entries count towards the grand finale drawings on June 26th. Triple the entries during Brewers home games and score one of 3 all-new Toyota vehicles. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play. Only at Potawatomi. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky here. Welcome back. It is Wisconsin Sports Daily. See Sparky Fiver with you. We'll get the things Sparky missed momentarily. Let me tell you about my friends over there at Habish and Rotier. Check them out today at Habish.com. National reputation, hometown service, 13 different locations all over the beautiful state of Wisconsin. National reputation, as we talk about all the time, they get it because they win, right? They got winning record numbers in different cases across the state of Wisconsin, which is really, really cool. And again, they're there. You get hurt in a car accident, injuries happen. They're there to protect you and get you what you rightfully deserve in your case. And having been through something like this, that was a very, very scary situation in a car accident, you get freaked out, man. You don't know who to trust, who to call, where to go. You're trying to think of, any type of hospital bills, doctor bills. Maybe you don't have money to get a new car, and now your car is total, and you're trying to figure out how you're going to get wheels and get through that and all this other stuff that goes along with it. There's so much that goes into something like this that you need to go to somewhere where you can trust them and they're going to take care of you and have your best interests in mind, and you're not just going to be another number to a law firm. Here with Habish Rotier, they're going to take care of you, and they're going to put you in the best position to succeed and take some of that stress off of your shoulders. Check them out right now at Habish.com. Again, that's Habish.com. National reputation, hometown service, Habish, and Rotier. All right. Now, let's get to what we normally get to in the last segment of the show.
What story did Sparky miss talking about today on Wisconsin Sports Daily? Don't you worry. Sparky's got you covered now.
All right, so let's talk about a couple of things that we missed on today's show. One of these is really good that I had not seen until I think it was this morning I saw it, or last night. Somebody retweeted it. This is actually from April 27th. The playoff baseball game between West Nassau High School and Sewanee High School has garnered a bit more national attention than you'd expect for a 3A Florida high school baseball game. The takes have arisen after it was revealed that West Nassau's 12-1 season-ending defeat came with all 5 of their seniors opting to attend prom rather than play in the most important game of the season.
Are all 5 of those guys playing college baseball? Does it say? Like, that'd be the only reason I guess prom. Yeah, I want to go to my senior prom too, but at the same time, I want to play in the biggest game of my high school career.
I don't know. And it's pointed out, why didn't the teams trying to work together figure out a different day and time so it would have worked out at that point,
or
right?
Maybe the school try to help out too and maybe change the date of the prom a little bit. I know a lot of people complain, oh, you're changing it for the sports teams and stuff. Like, yeah, that's not fair. And I get that.
That's what would be said. You're right.
I get that. But also at the same time, I don't give all the students free access to the game and stuff. Make it up to them and say, we'll push the prom one day so these guys can play in the biggest game of their career so far. Just
absolutely insane to me. I don't even know how I would handle that if I was a parent. If my kid's like, yeah, Dad, I'm not playing. I'm done. I'm not playing college baseball anyhow. I'm going to prom. I would be livid. Like, dude, you're going to let down your teammates. And you knew when prom was. Like, I doubt it was scheduled at the last minute. All of a sudden, oh, we have prom potentially. And again, it's a playoff game. So maybe you don't know exactly the playoffs and so forth. You had to have known it was going to be a possibility.
Definitely. But I think at the same time, too, you can't be that mad. Like,
I'd be livid.
It's an experience that he also wouldn't want to forget, too. Like, those dances are something that I remember from my high school experience.
If I was a teammate of said one of these 5 seniors, I'd be hot and remember that forever. Like, oh my gosh. No.
At least you got 5 of you guys to protect each other.
So. Yeah, you got each other. Tell your kids how you bailed on your team your senior year. Oh, how lovely. So we had to bring that up and talk about that. That doesn't make any sense. Here's another one. This is from the Scott Van Pelt show. It's him and that Stanford Steve guy that he has talking about Buc-ee's. Now, again, we're going to be getting a Buc-ee's down here in southeastern Wisconsin in Oak Creek. This one I just thought was amusing.
Have you been to Buc-ee's?
Not in my life.
Too big.
Wow.
Telling you.
Bucky slandered late in the pod.
When I drive, I want to get there.
So
when there's stops that have to be made, they have to be made. But I don't want to have to walk around a mall.
I was just going to say,
get beef jerky.
Is this a gas station or a mall?
Yeah, they're unbelievable how big they are. And if you have time and you don't care, I get it. More gas pumps than a city, but it's just too big for me. I want to be in and out.
Here's my point. Haven't been to a Buc-ee's. I'm sure it's delightful, although it does look like the Mall of America.
It's bigger than Target.
That is significant.
They're huge, and the people are delightful, and the bathrooms are great. But I don't want to walk a mile and a half to go to the bathroom.
120 fueling stations.
Yeah, they're insane.
What are we doing?
They just got one in Virginia. The one in Texas, I couldn't believe how big it was.
Damn, there's some glazed pecan, glazed almond.
They everything. But that's the thing. And it's a half hour, and I'm looking around.
What else can you buy?
Everything. Everything. They have fresh brisket chopping.
Hell yeah.
But you know what the problem with that is?
What?
Burps.
Yeah, brisket burps will get you.
Brisket burps will get you. I agree. That Van Pelt and, again, Stanford Steve talking about Buc-ee's. I can't wait for the one Oak Creek, y'all. Like, I'm super excited. Now, again, they do not advertise themselves as just, like Stanford Steve would say, a gas station. They call themselves like the Disney World of gas stations. Like, it's you go there to make it a destination. The closest thing I can come up with for people that do travel baseball and end up in Iowa all the time, they have the world's largest truck stop. And that also is a gigantic facility. And you go there to go into the world's largest truck stop. I bought shirts there, hats there. We go there. Anytime we're in that area, we always stop off and go to the world's largest truck stop. All the time, guaranteed. And I promise you, people from Illinois will drive up to go check this Buc-ee's out. People from Madison and southeastern Wisconsin are going to drive down. And people from around the state that come down to go to IKEA now will just go a couple exits down and go see what Buc-ee's is all about. I promise you, it's going to be huge.
They probably will. I don't know. I'm not as hyped about this. I'm kind of, it just sounds like a giant gas station. That doesn't sound that exciting to me. And maybe I'm a quick trip guy. Like everybody around here knows that. I always bring in my.
Do you know what we're going to do? I want to go with, though.
All right.
I want to go, you, me, and your grandma. And I want to be there when you and your grandma go into Buc-ee's for the first time.
All right.
I want to see her face when she walks in. She's like, oh, my goodness. She's going to lose her mind.
All right.
Yeah, she's going to lose her mind.
We'll do it.
Yes,
I'll sign it up.
That is a date. I am doing that. Enjoy the rest of your day. Leadoff show coming up next with Tommy Wirtz. It is the Wisconsin Sports Daily Show. Live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. This was a very, very fun show. If you're looking for something to listen to later, I suggest if you're a Brewers fan, go back and listen to 3 o'clock when Tommy Wirtz, myself, and Charlie were all yelling and screaming about the future Brewers lineup in the next couple of weeks. Go check that out. Have a good night, Wisconsin. Toodles.